Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your Nebula Esports Week 3 stream. Today, we're going to have the Phantoms facing off against the Tequila Mockingbirds in our first match of the night. This is a Div 3 matchup. After that, we're going to have a Div 2 matchup, the SSG Vesuvius facing off against the Comeback Kids at 9:30 p.m. EST, rough estimate. This is your host, producer, kind of jack of all trades, Caustic here, and joining me for this first match as my fellow caster, and I believe first time caster for Nebula, we have Dr. Ligma.
Yeah, first time caster actually ever. So
Really?
I'm excited to be here. Yeah. I did some streaming back in the day, but that's about the only kind of experience I have with this.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. There's only one way to really get experience, and that's by doing it. So this is
really happy
fun.
to be here, though. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So starting off, let's just take a look at the lineups for both teams. We're going to start off with the Phantoms lineup. They're going to have Azure on the tank. We've got Salt and Maddie on the DPS duo. And then they've got a backline of Luna and Soda. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah. Honestly, even looking at the heroes that they chose, to be fair, these heroes aren't necessarily what they're going to be playing in the actual match, but this isn't even that bad of a lineup, in my opinion. I mean, I could see a composition with this working out relatively well.
I mean, to be fair, with the recent Malga nerfs, I don't really see Malga as much in my games anymore, but also I've seen it work out, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, it's always interesting to see if teams kind of try and stick with a hero that even after the nerfs still has some potential, kind of get the best out of that hero's possibility. And on the side of the Tequila Mockingbirds, we're going to have Jagora on the tank. You've got Unbid and Chisakina on the DPS duo. We've got Chris Kringle and Harper on the back line.
Gonna throw some Christmas spirit in there with Chris Kringle.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Yeah, we love to see it.
Christmas in July theme.
Yeah, I don't mind Christmas in July at all. I mean, I am in Canada, so we're used to the snow all season long. And
I love Christmas time.
Oh, it's the best. We do have the first map pick coming up. It's going to be Samoa as the first map pick. And also, I do notice really quick that there appears to have been a quick switch up on me. I'm going to double check, but I believe one of the players is not in on one of the starting lineups. So I'll just edit that really quick to fix it. And I guess we'll be going back over to look at another we'll go back and look at another lineup just really quick. Should be for the Phantoms, as it looks like it's going to be Mystic as opposed to Luna. That was the little mix up that we had. But yeah, we are going to be starting off on Samoa, and I believe it's actually the first time we've streamed Samoa as the control map. So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm really interested in this because we've always seen Lijiang. Lijiang has been the staple pick so far.
Well, it's always good to see a switch up on the maps every now and then, and everybody loves to see a good map on Samoa. Samoa is always a fun map to play, especially in my opinion. So I'm excited to see this match.
Yeah, this is going to be very fun. I do like coming up with this as well. The fact that we might see something other than King's Row on hybrid. We've always seen King's Row. So there's a chance that we might not be stuck in the King's Row hell, and we might actually get a different map for once. There's always a chance. We've got to hope. We've got to pray.
Well, look. I'm privy to King's Row. Okay, I love King's Row.
I love it too.
Have King's Row on every match or every time I load up Overwatch and I play King's Row, I would be perfectly fine with that.
Well, King's Row's pretty good, but we've got some different map choices, you know, with all the options. We got to have something a little different, and it looks like coming up for Tequila Mockingbirds, they're going to be running out with this Ram comp to start off, but you see Hazard being played for the Phantoms.
Hazards have been a pretty solid pick here recently in higher ranks, so it'll be interesting to see how they implement Hazard here.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, as so far we're just having a little bit of poke damage being taken from both teams. Prime here seems to be looking for a flank. Maddie is going to fall early, Harper's going to fall early from the hands of Maddie, but Maddie is also dangerously low against the Soj, and the Tracer is going to find them out to finalize the pick. Mystic going up against the Soj is going to back up from that though, and it looks like point control is going to go to the side of the Phantoms to start it off. Jagora coming back up is going to look to go into the punches for him, but falls dangerously low. Suzu is going to come in hand, but that's going to be a bit more damage. Azur is going to put up a wall of their own. The window comes into play from Jagora. Kina does find a pick onto the Kiriko, and it's going to be interesting to see. Azur is trying to get this pick onto Chisakina, but isn't able to yet. Chisa is low though, so is Azur, and Azur is going to fall. And the cleanup crew is going to get the pick.
Kiri was very well placed in that endeavor whenever the Hazard was coming in there, and the Kiri was just keeping the Sojourn up. And unfortunately, the Hazard couldn't make the pick in time, so that just didn't work out for the Phantoms the way that they had liked.
Ooh, and Chisa does fall to the Hazard. Good wall placement to make it so they weren't able to escape, and that is an ult that they no longer have access to, as someone's going to pulp the ult early, but it is going to find two, takes down the Kiriko, isn't able to get the pick on Jagora, but Jagora is going to fall, which gets rid of their ult as well. Prime does have the pulse bomb, but is taken down before they can use it, and that's going to be basically a team wipe, but not that many ults used and a lot of ults on the board, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this next fight, because we've got a lot of firepower at hand.
Everybody press Q!
Pressing Q! Let's see who does it first, as Maddie tries to get the pick on the Lucio. He's going to pop it first.
There he goes.
The beat does come out in retaliation and finds the kill on them.
Poor Maddie, the second the play came out, just immediately sent back.
Prime does use the pulse, but doesn't find the pick. The Kitsune Rush is used. Lucio is pretty low. It's going to get meleeed by the Tracer, and this Tracer is going to try and find some more potential picks as they're going after the Kiriko, who's kind of by themselves.
Hey, look, you see the opportunity, you got to go for it.
The TP is going to buy them a little bit more time, but they are going to fall to Chisa, and the Genji gets taken down by the Tracer as well.
Tracer's doing a really good job of playing cleanup over here.
Yeah, and this has been a pretty back and forth map one so far. I mean, there hasn't necessarily been like a guarantee or even a long-held winner in this case on this map. It's still in the hands of anybody, really.
Yeah, everybody's going tit for tat. This is going to be a good one.
And we do see both tank ults being used. Jagora is going to find a pick onto Mystic, and Salt going after the Kiriko. Are they going to be able to get the pick? They are. That is a 3k for Jagora, and that is going to finish off the fight as Azure is going to jump off the map just to try and get back with their team as fast as they can. But time is ticking on this map 1. And only 10% left to go for Tequila Mockingbirds, 6% left for the Phantoms. It's anyone's game as Salt is going to contest.
Looks like this is going to be last fight here. Oof.
Definitely last fight territory, and that pick onto Salt is very helpful as Prime gets a pulse kill. No ults in play, and they are going to get taken down as overtime ticks. No one's going to be able to contest, and that's going to be the first objective going to Tequila Mockingbirds.
Well, that round was very tit for tat. I could definitely see Phantoms coming back and starting to rally back, but again, that's the first map, so we're gonna have to see what happens from here.
Yeah, I mean that's first objective, and nothing necessarily set in stone. There's a lot of time to adapt, and we've seen teams lose the first objective and then come back and basically body the other team in the next opportunity. So we are going to be coming into the next objective here. We do see the Symmetra TP. I lost the character's name for a second, and they are going to switch back to the Tracer.
Jagora did swap on to the Diva here from the Ramatra.
That's going to be an interesting pick. I'm curious to see how it works out for them, as they are following their Tracer, and the Genji dangerously low, but is going to get taken down by the Lucio, and that's 2 quick picks for the Tequila Mockingbirds, and they're going for more. Kiriko dangerously low, so is the Soj, and both of them are going to fall. Azure is able to get back to their spawn, but the rest of their team does fall, and the objective is going to go to the side of Tequila Mockingbirds as they get a little bit of poke damage before the next fight.
See, for me, Tequila Mockingbird just went in there and did everything so quick that Phantoms couldn't even react to it.
Maddie here does go from the Genji over to the Tracer and does take out Prime in the process. So now we're going to see what happens, as it looks like Tequila Mockingbird has been taking this fight so close to the spawn of the Phantoms that Maddie is actually just able to backcap it and give themselves point possession for a little bit and distract the opponents off of the spawn fight, as now we're going to see them all kind of try and bunch up again closer to the spawn.
Although it was a short tap, that did relieve some pressure off at the spawn doors for just a short amount of time at the very least.
Definitely, and we're going to see Maddie doesn't get picked off. Luckily, they're able to return to the spawn in time, but this is an interesting scenario to be in on the side of the Phantoms. You kind of have to figure out what you can do to try and mediate some of the pressure that's been put on you guys, especially considering you're being spawn held more or less right now, and kind of figure out what opening you can use to try and get out and get some space, as the Tracer in the backline is going to help a little bit, but is being chased down by 2 players. Azure is going to take out Chizakina on the point. We do see the Diva Bomb come into play. It doesn't find a pick, and the Kitsune Rush on both sides gets used. Azure does pop the ult, doesn't find a pick. The beat is used as well. Chizakina is going to be coming back into the fight with their ult of their own. You do see the pulse get thrown out, but it does not find a kill. Azure, kind of by themselves here, is going to get the cleanse to try and give them a bit more life, but they are going to fall in the process, and now the team is just trying to get back as fast as they can, as they're going to get pushed heavily by this team just trying to get back to their spawn. Salt's going to get staggered. No.
Oh, right at the spawn door.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Prime accidentally touched the spawn doors in the process, as Maddie is trying to get back and backcap, but they're hyper aware of this opportunity now, as the Lucio is on their tail and they are going to get taken down. We do see the ult used by Chisakina. The beat does come in time to save the Kiriko, and it's going to be interesting to see because the Phantoms are down by 3 currently, and the only player left to potentially touch is going to be Maddie, and they are able to do it. But that Diva Bomb's going to make it so that's a guarantee objective cap, and that is the first map won for the Tequila Mockingbirds.
Seems as though the Diva switch actually really did, in fact, help him out there in the end.
Yeah, I was never that good at Diva. I always found that they were a little bit too out of my comfort zone as a hero, but in the right hands, they are deadly. So the first map is going to go to the Tequila Mockingbirds. Now the question is going to be the hybrid pick, and considering the Phantoms gave us the Samoa pick, I'm curious to see if they're gonna switch it up and give us a different hybrid map. I'll show the map pool for hybrid, which we haven't really had to go to much, if at all, because we've really only played one of the maps here on hybrid, and that's King's Row.
Send me to King's Row. I'll be happy. Can't complain with it.
I mean, last time that I was on stream, I mentioned it. It's a lot of the time it's not King's Row, it's Scrim's Row. That's how
Very true.
That's how associated that map is with scrimming.
Like, when it comes to the hybrid maps, I could definitely see King's Row being a favorite. Possibly Hollywood, but I don't know about Parithio.
Yeah, I don't know. Parithio doesn't get played a lot, in my opinion. Hollywood, I can see it being played more than Parithio, but at the same time, it's competing with King's Row, so it's not really gonna have much of a chance in most cases.
I would love to see King's Row here. I would love to see a Rhine mirror. That would be awesome.
Ooh, the Rhine mirror.
I love to see a good Rhine mirror.
You remind me of someone from Shadow, a specific caster. They loved the Rhine mirror.
I don't know who you're referring to, but I'm
I gotta remember his name. Oh, it's gonna bug me now that I can't remember his name. But the Rhine mirror, that became the big thing with with Shadow, was just Rhine mirrors. At most times, if people played Rhine, it was less for winning the map. It was more just to win the casters. To win them over.
See, like, whenever there's a Rhine mirror, it's just so fun to watch because the ability to outplay another Rhine on a mirror is, like, so much more on that character than it is with other tank mirrors, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and it's just, like,
true.
So fun to see.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a custom game mode of just Rhine v Rhine. You don't really see that a lot with any other tanks, so that's just how engraved Rhine v Rhine is, I guess. And I did figure out the other person's name was Dez. Dez was huge on the Rhine 1v1s. That is a caster from Shadow that loved the Rhine 1v1s. And we are going to actually have the map pick for hybrid confirmed. It's King's Row, as always.
Hey!
So we'll see, Dr. Ligma. You might actually get your Rhine duel.
Please. I don't ask for many things in life. This is one thing I'll ask for.
Yeah. The Rhine 1v1 is one of the few things Dr. Ligma will request.
And if we can see a Mercy solo shatter, I'm not going to complain about that either.
The pure disrespect of a Mercy solo shatter.
I wouldn't even call it disrespect. I feel like it's just like expected at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Now we are going to see a couple switches coming in here. Chiza is going to the bench along with Chris. We have Mocha as tank for the Tequila Mockingbirds. Jagora is going to go to support. And we are going to see Harper on the DPS. So Harper previously played support. And another player that's coming into play. I see their name, but did they get put into the match? They did. I love this. I love this person's username in game. I have to I have to give respects to Fat Ninja, with fat being spelt as PHAT.
Love it.
You love to see it. But yeah, we are going to see... Yeah, with a PH.
Love to see it.
Yeah, you love to see it. So I'm going to give you this hypothetical would you rather, I guess. Because you did mention you love to see those Rhine duels. Would you rather a Rhine duel or a Torb duel, hammers only?
Oof. You see, my expertise, I guess, if you could even call it that at this point. I'm better with Rhine than I am Torb. Okay. My friends that I have that are good with the Torb, I envy them so much because they can just go in and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a hammer kill this game, and I'm just like, dude, you're talking out your tail, like there's no way, like it's not that easy. And then you just see it randomly in the kill feed, and I'm just like, dude, how
do you do this?
How do you get away with this buffoonery?
I know. I don't get it. It's this. Oh my gosh.
Like, I wish.
Well, we have one piece of the puzzle. It's going to be interesting to see if we get the second. It's all up to Azure.
Oh, come on, Azure, please.
I have a feeling Mocha might have been watching the stream, or they're just a pure connoisseur of these type of battles. And no, Azure!
Man, we were so close.
Dr. Ligma's stream is going to be broken, but we have one piece to the puzzle at least, as Azure is going to be playing the Ramatra, and Moke is going to be on the Rhine that you were mentioning. Harper's on the Widow, is going to be looking for a first pick potential, doesn't get the shot, is going to peek out again, goes for a... Oh, they're going to stick with it. They do get a little bit of damage. We do see the Farah as well from the Tequila Mockingbirds, which I like. I've been a big fan of Farah. We're going to see how this works out, as Mocha is trying to swing. Prime is going to get a pick here, and Mocha does get taken down trying to get the Kiri in the back line. And Harper's still on the Widow, is going to find a pick there. But it's dangerously low.
I completely forgotten about the Widow.
Yeah, I'm honestly, in a lot of the previous games, we've seen people go Widow to look for that first headshot, and then after they take the couple shots, they just immediately swap off. But Harper's sticking with it, and I respect it. We are going to see Maddie on the May that's going to isolate the Rhine, which is not going to be a fun situation for this Rhine, having to walk into a May. It's going to be interesting to see if Mocha decides that they're going to switch at any point, or if we're going to stick with it. You never know. Harper is dangerously low and has the firing squad come and beat them up.
Yeah, so unfortunately with Maddie being on May, her number one priority is just being a menace to that Reinhardt.
That is true.
It's just going to make their day 10 times worse.
Mocha's going to go over to the Ramatra. We did see the ult from Prime there to take down Azure, but they fall in the process, and Harper, previously on the Widow, is going to go over to the Sombra, which I don't hate, and they're watching as they are going to get the hack onto the Kiri, and they are able to escape in time. The Juno ult is going to come out. Azure does have their ult along with the beat and the freeze from the Mei. It is going to be popped out. The beat from the Tequila Mockingbirds is going to come into play as well. And it looks like Azure's going to pop their ult. The beat's coming in as well for the side of the Phantoms. And Harper is going to fall low. They are going to be able to escape in time. Everybody is fairly low on the side of the Phantoms. Mystic does get hacked, but is able to live. Maddie is coming back. They don't have an ult to play with, but they do have the wall, which is going to help them with spacing as they get hacked and taken down. Sultan falls in the process too. Fat Ninja almost falls as well, but is going to be able to survive. Azure is hacked on the point and doesn't have anybody to help them, as that is going to be basically a team wipe, and that's going to confirm the first objective for the Tequila Mockingbirds with 3 minutes to go to cap the next 2 objectives.
Started this game off praying for a Rhine mirror, and I got a Ramatra mirror.
You were close. Both characters start with an R in their name, so we'll give you brownie points for that. Yeah.
We'll
Close, but yet so far. Salt here is going to have the cleanse used, but is going to fall too. They did have the ult in hand. We did see the ult by Harper, and Mocha is going to fall as well, as there's dangerously low. They're staggered, and Maddie just has to retreat back to the spawn. But they are going to be hacked and taken down by Harper!
Oh, that is cold.
Cold-blooded. And Harper, I believe, does have the hack. They're just going to try and stagger and stall it out for a little bit. And they are going to go and grab another health pack, and they're just being a menace and trying to get as much info as they can for their team. And Prime does have the barrage available. Salt is going to pop their ult, is looking to get Prime, is going to take them down, but falls to Mocha in the process. Both supports on the side of Tequila Mockingbirds are coming close to getting their ult. Azure close to getting their ult for the side of the Phantoms, but isn't going to be enough, as they're going to get hacked, and they are going to fall as well. And from what I can tell, that is going to be the second objective going to Tequila Mockingbirds, assuming that the Phantoms aren't able to kind of sneak and contest, and it looks like it is going to be the second objective.
Tequila Mockingbirds ult economy right now, if you can look at it for me, that is, ugh, that is,
oh, that is nasty.
Spells a nasty future.
Harper fell off the map. We've got a C9, and we see ult for ult. Prime pops their ult, Azure pops theirs as well. We are going to see the Mei ult too to get rid of Mocha, and Mystic is going to be 1 point away from their ult, as Phantoms are able to kind of switch the the pressure and the momentum and kind of stop it there.
Well, we're gonna see how long it's switched for, because we got Tequila Mockingbird coming back on attack here, and they had 3 ults to work with.
The EMP is popped, the Juno ult as well, and that's going to be a 4K very early. Salt is the only one left, and they are in a horrible spot. They're gonna get staggered. And now 1 minute and 45 seconds left to potentially try and hold the Tequila Mockingbirds to 2 objectives out of the 3 that they could get, and we're gonna see how it turns out, as Maddie. Ooh. That is a nasty right click. Mocha's gonna pop their ult in the meantime. They are going to fall a little bit low. Not a C9, my bad. They are going to fall dangerously low, but looks like they're gonna keep that block up as long as they can, but it's not enough. Azura's gonna find two with the punches on both supports.
Phantoms are just not gonna stay down.
They're not going down without a fight. That's been one thing for sure. And Azure, I find it interesting, the pinging. I guess they're really trying to keep an eye on where Harper might be. And Salt here trying to get as much damage as they can, really trying to focus on this far as they take down the Sombra in the process.
We're going all in on the Sojourn ult here.
That ult
Trying
is
to find some
huge
damage
for
on that
them.
Ramatra.
That ult is huge, and they have a pretty good ult bank coming up, as we are going to see the Mei ult get popped. It is going to find the tank, arguably the most important part of the puzzle for the side of Tequila Mockingbirds, as they're also going to find the support as well. Mocha's going to go to the ball. Harper does have the EMP, and they are going to try and look to see when's the best opportunity, and here it comes, but they...
Oh no.
They don't get
It
the
was
ult
the
out
May
in time.
ice block perk.
They don't get the ult in time, as Mocha is the last one on the point. You do see the Juno ult come in, but it's not going to be enough, and that's going to do it. So 2 objectives complete, and a good amount of payload progress, but it leaves the opportunity for the Phantoms to potentially win the map if they can get it, if they can get that cart just a little bit farther.
Yeah, the map started off a little bit shaky for the Phantoms, but they held it together there at that final point. And this, like you said, can be a shift in momentum for them if they play things right here.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, Tequila Mockingbirds felt like they had all the momentum after that first objective cap, but being able to stop them where they were is going to be huge, as it's going to be a lot of questions as to what's next. And
Ball on defense here.
I didn't want to say it and jinx it, but you're seeing a ball on defense.
I am really interested to see how this plays out.
And Mocha's... Is Mocha going back to the spawn to switch? Yes, they are. That's how you know this is a streamed match, where you see the casters getting trolled. And Salt's gonna use this angle that we have seen before, or are they? They're gonna get hacked by Harper immediately. Harper isn't gonna be able to find the kill, but that is a lot of pressure immediately upon getting into the start of the map, or the start of this side.
That's a wild play.
Jaguar is gonna take down Mystic, and this Sombra has been a pain on the side of this Sombra has been a pain to the Phantoms, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stop anytime soon, as we're immediately seeing them all back to the spawn, and Harper's kind of just sitting waiting to find their next victim.
It doesn't seem that Phantoms have an answer for Harper at the moment, but hopefully they can find some sort of answer to it.
They'll have to find an answer, and presumably quick, because if Harper really dominates on this map, you never know, they might bring this with them to Flashpoint, as Jagora is going to find the pick onto Salt. The hack is going to go onto the Ramatra. They're not able to follow up, but Prime is going to take down a Soft Beverage, and Mystic is going to die in the process too.
One by one, they fall.
One by one indeed, as Azura is able to kind of hold back Harper a little bit, but with the help of Jagora, they are able to take them down. And Harper's getting so much value out of this Sombra pick, it's insane. There's the EMP, it's a 3-man, and they're gonna take down 2 right off of the bat and find a 3rd now.
Value Harper's getting on the Sombra right now is insane.
It is wild. If you're the Phantoms, what do you do to counter this?
Honestly, at this point, I would possibly switch up the support line to maybe a Brig Juno. I don't know. Like, get a Brig in there to help out with it. But
fair enough. And we're going to see Mocha here trying to get some early damage, and they are going to pop the ult. They aren't able to find a kill off of it, but it is going to push them back all the way to their spawn again. But Azure has an ult of their own, and we are going to see the beat coming in from Mystic, or the beat potentially coming into play from Mystic, as they now have it in their possession. Salt's going to try and get a little bit of damage. Harper is going to get the hack off immediately, but they are going to fall, and that's going to be big for the Phantoms. Now they're going to try and really push and put in more pressure. Prime's going to pop the ult. We are going to see the beat. We're going to see the May freeze, and we're going to see Azure going into the punches with their ult, trying to take down anybody that they can. They're going to keep going. Mocha is going to be able to escape just barely. The wall did not come in time, but now the Phantoms are able to start capping the objective, and this is going to be the big question. Salt is going to be able to pop their ult. They are looking to try and take down Mocha, but they're not able to confirm the kill. But Maddie is going to be able to confirm the kill for them, and the objective is going to go to the side of Phantoms, as nobody was able to contest in time.
Yeah, it looked like Lucio tried to there at the end, but just didn't get there in time.
The attempt was made, yeah, but I don't think they weren't able to stall it long enough, as the point did switch over. We are going to see Prime and Salt taking a little bit of a duel just early on, but nothing truly comes out of it yet. Salt is going to find the Sombra early on, but they are dangerously low, and they are going to live just barely. Prime is going to take down Azure, as we do see the Kitsune rush get used as well. Might have been a little bit late in an attempt to save Azure, but nonetheless, they are going to have to fall back off of that, and it's a sad ult loss. And Harper's got another EMP.
Yeah, unfortunately, they weren't able to utilize that Kitsune ult there, and now they're just left with a wasted ult, and the only one they have coming up is May ult, so possibly they could cook something up with that.
It's going to be interesting. If they can get that May ult in time, never mind, that's a 5-man EMP.
Oh.
That is huge. They are going to fall in the process, but that is going to confirm the team kill for the Tequila Mockingbirds. I was going to say, if they can get that May ult in time and potentially spot the Sombra trying to jump out before they pop the ult, they might be able to freeze in time. That's not the case, as the team wipe 5-man EMP is huge. We are going to see the ult get used here, but Mocha's going to be able to get out of the ult in time. Salt is going to get hacked here. They switch over to the cast to try and deal with the Sombra, and they are going to find the pick onto Harper. They're going to take down the process, but that is going to be very helpful, as Azure is going to pop their ult and take down Prime in the process.
Mocha finds 2 picks onto May and Kiri, so maybe not all is lost in that endeavor.
We're going to see beat for beat here, as the fight moves over closer to the payload, but only 15 seconds left as Fat Ninja takes down Mystic, the Lucio duel, with a little bit of help from the tank, as we see the Kiriko ult come into play as well. Salt is coming close to their ult, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to potentially win them the map, and that's going to do it. A 1-2 or 2-1 map win for Tequila Mockingbirds on Scrim's Row.
And again, Harper was just too much of a thorn in the side of Phantoms for them to be able to gain any progress on this map. It just seemed like anything that Harper did, they just did not have an answer for it. And he was just having his way.
Yeah, honestly, Harper was dominant in that. I'm surprised the play of the game didn't go to Harper for the 5-man EMP. But nonetheless,
Yeah,
it's going to be an early 2-0 lead for the Phantoms. But, or sorry, not the Phantoms, for Tequila Mockingbirds. My bad. But the Phantoms, while they are down, they're not out. We've seen it before, and I don't know if Nix is in the chat, but I know that a couple of times they've mentioned reverse sweep. We've yet to see one, but it would be very nice to see. I would love to see the possibility of a reverse sweep. Even just the fact that it would bring us to a push map to show off for once.
hey, you never know. It might happen. Count your blessings, and maybe one day it will.
Yeah, maybe last week of the of Series 0 for Nebula Esports, we'll see a map 5. But for the meantime, it looks like as we come into this Flashpoint map, we are going to have a 5-minute break. There are going to be a couple swaps when we come back, so I'll make sure to mention those for everybody. But in the meantime, we're just going to take a 5-minute break. For everybody that's watching, grab your snacks, grab your popcorn, grab some water, stay hydrated, and we will be back relatively soon with the third map of this Div 3 matchup between the Phantoms and Tequila Mockingbirds. Welcome back, everybody. We've finished the 5-minute break. We've got the map pick for Flashpoint. I am just going to quickly go over the swaps that I see coming in for both teams, actually. We have two swaps for both teams. We have Tequila coming back into the match, and Chris coming into the match as well. Jagora and Harper are going to be coming back onto the bench. Tequila is coming in for support, and Chris is coming in for DPS. And on the side of the Phantoms, Mystic is going, sorry, I am losing my mind.
It's okay.
Mystic
It happens to the best of us.
Mystic is going to the bench, and Luna is coming in for them. And we're going to see Maddie going to the bench as well. And in place of them, we're going to see Doom only.
Ooh.
Which is a familiar name for anybody who was here during the Shadow series, who followed over from that. As coming into this Flashpoint map, we are going to see Suravasa as the pick.
Okay.
This will be fun to see. And we're going to take a look at what their starting hero choices are going to be when we come into this Suravasa. Well, when we come into Suravasa for the Flashpoint. And I can't help but smile at looking at the Twitch chat and seeing, OMG, my tank goat on support. Let's go.
Love to see it.
Yeah, you can't help but smile looking at Twitch chat and seeing just everybody get hyped over random things like people playing a different role than what they're used to seeing. And we're seeing some interesting choices coming into this. We've got Fat Ninja on the BAP, previously was on Torb, I guess. Azure is going to be coming in on the Maga. We've got a Junkrat and a Cass. The backline heroes stay relatively the same. We're going to see a Genji and a Ram on the side of the Tequila Mockingbirds. I'm interested in this Maga pick. We were talking about Maga being nerfed, but I guess they're being used, and let's see how it works out for them, as right now Maga is going to charge in, tries to get a lot of damage onto Mocha, doesn't find any picks yet, but they are able to hold enough space that Doom Only is going to be able to get a jump on at least one or two players and also contest the point. Azure is going to fall in the process. Doom Only is going to be in close proximity to this tank, but the point is going to go over to the side of the Phantoms early on, and they are going to get taken down the process, but Mocha falls too. So,
yeah, unfortunately, the Junkrat just got surrounded on both sides at the point there and just had to fall to the rest of the team.
Unfortunately, Azure is already back, and it's still at a point where I don't even feel like we've had a full retreat yet, as I guess I'll eat my words there, as the Tequila Mockingbirds are gonna at least retreat and stop contesting the point. I don't hate this lineup. A lot of people would probably question the Junkrat, but considering you were just facing a Sombra, having both the Cass and the Junkrat to possibly deal with it is going to help out a lot. And the Cass in question is going to fall pretty early on here. Salt is going to Azure is going to try and stomp on someone, is not able to find the kill. Doom Only is going to take down the Lucio, but a lot of early picks for the Tequila Mockingbirds, and that's basically going to be the end of that fight. The Tequila Mockingbirds are going to be able to cap, or not necessarily cap, but contest and gain point progression on the first objective, but the Phantoms are one tick away from capping it and claiming it as their own and taking an early 1-0 lead on this map in particular. Azure is going to frontline here, trying to look for a potential opening. Mocha is going to get a good amount of damage. We do see the blade come out. It's going to find two. They are going to try and get a little bit of damage onto Doom Only, who is in the process of retreating and being relatively chased. Prime's going to have to try and get it out of there as fast as they can now. And the ult bank is crazy for both teams. We already see
here
the
we
tire.
go.
It's coming in
Let's see what
hot.
this tire do. Let's see what this tire do.
Oh, no kill, but Azure does have their own ult. Salt has their ult of their own, is going to find the Genji. And Azure with the ult of their own is going to basically seal the deal on the first point of this map. And that's really good for the side of the Phantoms. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first lead you've taken on a map so far, and that's going to put some pressure on the Tequila Mockingbirds.
Yeah, I believe you're right. They did a very good job of extending that fight on that last point. It just felt like that entire point was just one long fight up until that one that Tequila Mockingbird cleaned up there at the end.
Yeah, it really just felt like a prolonged fight as Fat Ninja is going to take down Azure. Prime is going to fall in. Prime's going to find a pick in the process too. Doom Only is going to take down Mocha, and they're all going to come falling down pretty early. The Tequila Mockingbirds are going to be able to at least cap the point, but nothing's set in stone yet. I mean, the people that fell early are at least going to be able to regroup early as well, and it's going to mean that there's not that much point progress that's lost, as Mocha does have an ult of their own, is going to look at potentially using it, but it's going to fall before they can even pop it. And this is a really rough situation for the Tequila Mockingbirds. Doom Only's going to fall in the process as well for the Genji, and he's going to pop the blade. Not able to find a pick though in the process, but those early picks are going to help out the Phantoms a lot, and they're going to be able to gain some point progression in the process, as Doom Only is going to have the tire. It's going to be interesting to see. I wonder how they're going to plan to use this tire, because you do have to put into consideration Chris Kringle on that tracer. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to get pulse bombed in mid-tire. And
yeah, that would not be favorable.
Is falling early. Chris Kringle is going to find a pick onto Soft Beverage. A 3v5 so far. Salt's going to fall as well, and Azure's the only one left. They're going to find one pick at least, but they are going to fall as well. So still in anybody's hands here. I mean, Phantoms have 5 ults.
Yeah, I was just about to mention the ult economy here, because they have a full team of ults here. So we can see a point retake here, possibly.
Salt's going to pop the high noon early and take down the tank. That's a huge pick, even though they fall in the process. And the rest of the team is just going to come crumbling down after that. Azure is going to try and look for this tracer to take them out, and Doom Only helps with that too. And
that is huge for the Phantoms, because they just only had to use one ult with the Cass ult there, and they still have 4 ults to work with.
Yeah, and those 4 ults can now be used just to kind of try and hold down the payload, or the point. You do have 3 coming in. Doom Only's gonna pop the tire, which is gonna force out the beat relatively early. They aren't able to find the pick. They are gonna fall to Prime in the process. We do see 2 of the 3 ults that were remaining for the Phantoms get used, as we see more coming out. Mocha pops an ult of their own. Fat Ninja is gonna fall. Mocha is also relatively low. Azure's gonna try and take them down, is gonna find the pick. And it looks like Prime and Chizukina are going to be the sole survivors of that ult dump from both teams. as it is now 1-1 on this map, going into the next flashpoint being Palace.
Yeah, you weren't wrong when you said ult dump. I was just talking about before the fight how we had 4 ults to work with, and now we have none.
Yeah. And this will be interesting, though. We do have Blade for the side of Prime. I'm interested to see if they are going to try and use it early to really swing the momentum fast, or if they're going to hold on to it a little bit later or a little bit longer and try and use it at a later time, as it is going to come out here and they're going to fall from Doom only.
Goodness. Every time you see a Genji ult, it's almost instantaneous that everybody turns and looks and just destroys that Genji. I feel so bad for Genji players.
It's a 50-50, honestly. It's either everybody turns and the Genji's the immediate target, or the Genji annihilates the entire team. It's one or the other. And Chris is going to be coming up on a pulse bomb pretty soon. Mocha is getting close to their ult as well. Both tanks are relatively equal on ult charge. And Mocha's gonna fall. They didn't have the window or the shield to really give them any chance of survival there. And Azure is going to get their ult as well. Lucio's gonna fall. The Genji's the only one left from what I can see, and they are gonna get a little bit of stomp damage and then taken down by Azure as well. And geez, the ults are really effective, and it feels like almost every conversation we have is talking about the ult bank, but these guys are building ults fast.
Yeah, their ult bank is just always a point of conversation because they just know how to get a really high ult charge, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, look at it here. Azure's gonna pop their ult. Mocha has an ult of their own. We see the Deadeye come in. It's gonna take down the Lucia right away. And that's basically gonna finish that fight. Mocha's gonna be staggered in the process, but I mean, Mocha was already looking at the edge anyways. So it's it's now 3 ults to 2 on the side of, well, Phantoms with the advantage. And Doom Only's kind of just sneaking around right now. I think they're waiting for a tire opportunity.
Oh, let me see it, Doom. I think you got something quirky up your sleeve.
And they take down the Lucio.
I love how we started this stream whenever I was talking about, oh, I don't know, with the recent Malga nerfs, I don't know, it'd be a lot to see, and Azor just says, okay, watch this.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying, how even with nerfs, some teams are just gonna play a character because people are gonna expect that character to not be used much because they were nerfed. It's that almost the characters played less because of the nerf, and it becomes an obscure thing for teams to try and deal with because they're no longer expecting to see that character. But it's been working for the Phantoms as they look at potentially taking this point and winning the map, bringing it to a 2-1, as we see the Kitsune rush coming out early for the Phantoms. Azure is gonna get booped off.
Oh!
The blade is going to come into play, and this is the other side of the blade that I was talking about, where it slices and dices, and that is a team kill with a boop kill from Shizakina onto Azure.
We can always appreciate a good boop kill.
Yeah, always, and that's one of the nice things with Suravasa. You've got boop kill opportunities on at least 2 of those flashpoint potential spots. As Azure's gonna charge in here, very close to getting their ult, doesn't get it yet. They do have the cage now in hand. Prime is their main target, and they're gonna get taken down early. Doom Only falls as well, which gets rid of their tire from the equation. But Salt is close to their Deadeye, and the Lucio gets taken down mid-ult.
We got an Ajax on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
The Ajax on this objective at this time is detrimental, to say the least. That is a big ult that falls at that point. Prime is going to switch off of the Genji over to the Reaper, but Azure and the Phantoms have a deadly combo of ults here. You've got the Tire, you've got, well, the Tire that's just been used and takes down Fat Ninja, you've got the Deadeye, and you've got the Cage. The Cage can lock them in one spot, and it'll immediately, it'll keep them there. And I mean, it's hard to really deal with a Deadeye when you can't move. But Azure is taken down early, and it looks like the momentum's shifted a little bit here. Tequila Mockingbirds are going to be able to cap, or at least get progress back on this Flashpoint objective, as we still have a couple ults in play for the Phantoms. Tequila Mockingbird's coming close to some of their owns. There's the Cage in play. Salt's going to pop the High Noon, looking to space them out as best as they can. Salt isn't going to be able to fire the gun, but that spacing tool benefit from the ult is huge, as Chris Kringle is really the only one left, and they're in a really bad situation here. Everyone knows where they are, and they're going to fall as the clock is ticking. Overtime is going to go, and that's going to do it. No one's able to touch, and the Phantoms, down but not out, are going to win the Flashpoint map. And
hey, that's what I was saying earlier. We were calling that rally back.
Yep, we did say reverse sweep is a possibility. My desk is wood, and I'm gonna knock on it right now, but from what we see, that's a first map. That's the first step, and that's huge for the Phantoms, as now Tequila Mockingbirds are gonna get the map pick coming into Escort, and the Phantoms are gonna be able to choose which side they want to play. In the meantime, as they make their decision, I'll show off the map pool. We've got Route 66, we've got Shambali, and we've got Havana. I'm trying to remember. I think we have seen Route 66 once. We've seen Shambali once, because that was yesterday. The map we haven't seen so far, from my memory, is Havana. See Route 66, we've seen Shambali. We haven't seen Havana yet.
Havana's not a bad map at all.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. I will also notice somebody did ask, is Vesuvius playing tonight? And I'll bring us back over to our away scene, just kind of showing off the score. Vesuvius is scheduled to play tonight. They're supposed to be the next match after this, so stay tuned for that. It'll be interesting to see that match as well, which is just, it's Div 2. This is Div 3, and I mean, I'm impressed from both teams already in this Div 3 match. I mean, this is the kind of fights that we want to see.
Yeah, this match has been very fun to watch, and it's been close. There have been points throughout the match where Tequila Mockingbird looked like that they're going to come out on top. Then Phantoms will just come right back and say, nuh-uh, like, hey, we're still here. And they're going to remind us that they might be down, but they're not out, and they're still kicking.
It's honestly been a shifting battle of which team seems to be more dominant in their fights.
It's all about momentum in this match. It's who's carrying the momentum. And right now we're starting to see the momentum shift back to the Phantoms. And we're going to see here in these next coming rounds if they can maintain that momentum or not. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited, as we are going to get the next map pick. We don't have the side pick yet. We are going to see a swap from the Tequila Mockingbirds. Chizukina is going to call a switch for Jagora, coming off of the bench and going in for Prime as the replacement. And we are going to see Shambali as the map pick. Shambali. So 2 days, 2 Shambali picks back to back, and we're gonna see. Phantoms are still getting the side pick to choose. Tequila Mockingbirds are still doing just some final switches. Harper is going to be coming in for Chris. Chizakina is going to be playing DPS. Harper will be going to support in the process.
That's interesting, because I was just about to say if Harper was coming back in, if we were going to see their Sombra again.
Yeah, this is definitely a map that Sombra is going to be played 100%. But I do like the situation the Phantoms are in with what they just played in terms of composition. I'm not sure you're going to be able to run the same Maga, but that Junkrat and Cass were pretty effective, even though there was no Sombra in sight. And relatively speaking, that Cass is technically a Sombra counter, and I'd argue to say that a Junkrat played in the right mindset might be able to counter a Sombra as well. Not the most orthodox, but
a good Junkrat could hold their own against a Sombra. Like, I can see what you're saying.
If you put a trap on a specific area where you think the Sombra might go, I mean,
right?
The trap's not necessarily like a turret or something like that, but there's potential. I guess what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's not the most orthodox pick for a counter on Sombra. However, I could see where some of Junkrat's kit could be utilized in order to prevent Sombra from getting big value picks out of her kit too.
True. I mean, yeah, that's really the big thing is you have the Cass, so realistically speaking, the Junkrat's not going to have to heavily focus on a Sombra, right?
Right.
But maybe in a more supporting role where they can put a trap on an angle or something and try and minimize where the Cass might have to worry about them showing up. As we are coming into the Shambali map here, and I'm pretty intrigued by some of the early picks we've got. We've got a Widow, which I have seen fairly often on this map. I will not lie. We see a Sig, which I don't hate the Sig. I loved playing Sig in the past, but this is the part that I'm really interested in. Doom only stays on the Junkrat, which I don't mind at all. We're seeing a Zenyatta and an Orisa, and we're seeing double Zenyatta.
That Zen with the Orisa junk and a Soj.
And Harper's on the Moira. Okay. Moira Zen backline.
You gotta love it.
That is a backline if I've ever seen one. I don't know what to say. I don't know who you would count as the main support in this scenario.
Well, it looks like we're gonna run with it.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of unorthodox, Jaguar's gonna find an early pick and get 2 in the process. So I mean,
2 early picks there.
Yeah, don't knock it till you try it. And Azur's dangerously low already. The lamp is gonna break just in the worst possible time. Azur's gonna fall, and wow, this is
my goodness.
Okay.
Everybody is getting melted so quickly.
Yeah, who needs to worry about healing if you're just gonna deal so much damage they don't have a chance to be healed?
There's just their game plan right now is just turning everybody into liquid ash at this point.
Yeah, I love to point out that the Zenyatta's just sitting on the cart. The Zenyatta's not even in the fight. They're just enjoying the ride. As Harper is gonna find a pick, Salt's gonna find a pick onto Chizakina. And Azur is able to do a little bit of damage, and kind of get back some of the space that they had lost, but as they gain more space, they're going to find the Zenyatta on the payload is going to come into the battle as well. And there's the Discord Orb, and Azure already falling low at 100, and they're gone to 0.
It's unfortunate. You get that Discord Orb slapped on you as an Orisa, and that just puts a even bigger target on your back.
Yeah. Azure does have the ult, so not necessarily in a situation where you're going to expect a switch. But we're going to see maybe Azure pops the ult relatively early just to kind of not have to worry about their ult anymore and be able to kind of switch off to a hero and not worry about ult charge being lost. As Harper is going to pop an ult of their own. Azure's going to pop their ult as well. Harper trying to take down Azure with their ult. Isn't going to be able to find the pick, but Jagora with the blade is in the backline taking out Doom only. Azure falls in the process as well. Chizukina gets a melee kill, and early enough, there's already 2 points lost, but Chizukina does get taken down by the Kiri. This is
Zen is still sitting on the payload.
I don't know if the Zen has actually gotten
Has he
off of
moved?
the payload at this point. It looks like Azure is gonna stick onto the Orisa, isn't gonna take a switch despite the opportunity. We do have 4 ults for the Phantoms, and Salt is gonna take down Harper before getting taken down by Chizukina at the same time. And 2 early picks. Doom only is gonna pop the tire of their own, but they're gonna fall to Mocha and not be able to get a pick in the process. Fat Ninja does use the ult of their own. I don't think... Oh, we do have a moment where Fat Ninja is not contesting the cart, but in that moment it becomes 3 points for Shambali for the side of Tequila Mockingbirds.
That was just all Tequila Mockingbird that round. And honestly, I don't know why we stuck the Orisa there. I'm kind of confused as to what, because, I mean, from my point of view, it just felt like they were singled out almost every fight. Like, you just slap a Discord on her, and everybody just looked at the Orisa and shot, and it just felt like, I don't know, just felt like they weren't really doing too much on that character.
Fair enough. I don't want to bring it I don't want to bring too much attention to it, but look at the time bank. They gained time from what you start off with. Don't you start with 4 minutes? When you first start a match, don't you have 4 minutes of game time, and then you gain depending on the objectives? They gained 8 seconds in that push. As we're gonna see Mocha on the Sig. Harper is gonna be on the Illari. And I mean,
we got Azor back on the Malga.
Yeah, I can't necessarily put any judgment on the Illari pick because we've got 2 Junkrats on the playing field. A Junkrat per team here, and Azor's already charging in and jumps off of the ledge. So the height gained was immediately lost, but Azor's going back for round 2, trying to get some damage onto the Sigma. The Sig's gonna throw the rock. There is gonna be a Kitsune cleanse in the process, and the Sig is gonna fall from it.
There we go.
That first jump off was more a warning, basically saying, hey, if you don't get off at this point, I'm gonna stomp on you. And well, they learned that lesson relatively quick, as Chizukina's already off of the Junkrat and went over to the Soj. And
well, I'm happy to see that the Phantoms are starting to turn some momentum around, because last round it did not look to be in their favor, but
it looks right now that they're trying to start to turn the momentum around, and hopefully they can get things into their favor.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum was definitely on the side of Tequila Mockingbirds on that, on their attack side, but at this point, Azur's gonna get taken down, but so is Mocha.
And we got tankless fight.
Tankless fight. You love to see these, as Doom only getting a bit of aggression isn't gonna find the pick off of it, but puts them in a very tough position, and that's gonna be the first payload.
Salt finds an easy little cleanup there at the end.
Yeah, this I like, honestly, from Azur here. I think going with this Maga pick has been part of their key to success. I mean, you have to give a bit of credit to Doom Only as well, who's been popping off on this Junkrat as well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of the two of those that's been helping a lot, and Salt's definitely been holding their own on this cast, as Harper is going to take down Azur early on. We are going to see the Sig ult get popped. It's going to find Doom Only. The Kitsune, the cleanse isn't going to save Salt, as that is going to be the rest of the team being taken down in the process. And I mean, still a lot of time on this map. I mean, you've got a little bit of time to work with.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes to work with here, and both teams have a good amount of ults to be able to use here. So it looks like we're fixing to have a nice big old Q party.
Yeah, and I mean, we see one, we see two, that's three,
three.
That's four,
There's four.
That's five, that's six.
What I say, there's the Q party.
We almost saw all of them. We're 6 for 8. And we're gonna stay 6 for 8, as Doom Only is gonna be taken down in the process of that. That was an ult overload.
You just gotta love it when it's just sensory overload on your monitor.
Oh, that's just the summary of Overwatch 2, if you had to put it in words.
Honestly.
Oh, Salt gets taken down by Harper with the Zen combo. Oh, Doom Only finds them in the process. I like this backline that the Tequila Mockingbirds have, though. If you're thinking offense, I mean, you've got a Zen and an Alari. Those are both pretty formidable in terms of supports who can pack a punch, as the Kitsune Rush is going to get thrown out here as well. Mocha has an ult of their own. They are going to pop it. They are going to grab Salt in the process, who did have their ult and is going to fall too. And they are going to get taken down from Azur as well. Azur going straight in after this Ana, who is going to sleep them. And the anti-nade is going to come in as well, but the cleanse is going to help out, and Harper lives.
That is crazy.
The rest of their team comes back to save them, and I was almost positive that was a dead Ana in that case, but miracles happen, and now
her teammates just came out right at the right time. It was a case of right place, right time.
Yeah, and that is going to be a pick really early. Chizukina is going to pop the ult of their own. They do get a right click onto Salt. They're not able to find another click onto them to finish off the fight. And Azur is also relatively low, but they are going to get the support that they need, at least temporarily. They do get the Kiriko cleanse popped relatively early to deal with the anti from Harper, as the beat is going to come into play. And Azur has an ult to use, Jagora has an ult to use, and they're using it right away. We don't see a Nano Blade, and Jagora does get taken down. Doom Only has an ult of their own. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes, as we've got a Nano Soj who takes down the Tire and Doom only, gets the pick onto Salt, and finds the third on Soft Beverage.
Just ult after ult after ult after ult this round.
And I just love to point out, as we have 5 seconds left, I'm going to take a break on that pointing something out thing, because this is close. And they don't touch! That'll do it!
Oh.
So the Tequila Mockingbirds are going to win it in a 3-1 format, I guess, on map 4, as Harper gets the play of the game.
Harper's been putting in work on multiple fronts this match, on DPS and on support.
And that's gonna do it for this matchup.
Yep, Tequila Mockingbird securing the 3-1 victory over Phantoms.
That was a battle. That
was.
Flashpoint map honestly could have been the game changer to really have this become a Phantoms win, but Tequila Mockingbird are able to figure out the momentum and switch it back to their side, and they're going to take it 3-1 here. And before we mention who we want to pick for MVP, I have a tough question to ask you, or not even, sorry, before we mention MVP, I just want to point out two comments that I had seen on the stream during the fight that was happening, which I love to point out. We have one comment that just says, "I don't know what's happening anymore." And then one that says, "For real, this is hurting my brain a little."
I mean,
that was during the ult mayhem that we witnessed.
At some points when you're playing Overwatch, you kind of just turn your brain off and hope for the best. And in those situations, that's kind of what I do. Just like, I don't know what's going on here. I see a bunch of flashing lights and colors. I'm gonna hope and pray everything goes okay.
Yeah. At that point, it's Jesus, take the wheel. Please give me the knowledge of what to do. And now the question is gonna be, who do we give MVP to?
For me, honestly, I'm gonna give it to Harper. They've just did so much during this match on support and on DPS. Like, they were a thorn in the side of Phantoms on the Sombra, and their Moira on that last map on Shambali was really good. So I'm gonna have to give it to Harper.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. I mean, they started off on Lucio and then switched over to Sombra, and this last match we saw Moira. Like, that amount of versatility is unmatched.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting map, or excuse me, a hero pool for sure. Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, you see that a couple times in like Div 5, Div 4, where you'll have a player who plays a bunch of different heroes and can play whatever. I mean, when I played Div 4, I played support, and then I also could play DPS if needed. But to see this in Div 3 is pretty impressive.
It's very impressive. It's above my skill level, I can tell you that much.
Same here. I can say with 100% certainty it's way above my skill level. So that's gonna do it for this match. And after a little bit of a break, we're gonna have the next match, SSG Vesuvius versus the Comeback Kids, for our Div 2 matchup. So, yeah, we are going to take a slight break to get everything prepared for that. As of now, I don't have full confirmation on who's all going to be casting for the next match. So, it'll be a to be determined scenario. You guys are just gonna have to wait and see. Keep you guys coming back for more. You have to figure out who's casting next. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break for now, and we'll be back shortly.
Want to find out who's casting the next game?
Yeah.
Find out on next episode of Drop Night.
Oh yeah, perfect. But yeah, we are gonna see that coming up next. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, grab some water, grab some snacks, take a bit of a mental break, I guess, and yeah,
stretch out, you know.
Oh, definitely.
Posture tech, you know.
Definitely. We've been
gotta make sure you got everything
an hour and
right.
30 minutes. So take the opportunity, stretch. I know I'm gonna have to, but yeah, we will be back shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your second game of the night. And hi, yes, me Dusty. I was able to sneak in here somehow. As tonight it's going to be a Div 2 match coming in with SSG Vesuvius versus Comeback Kids. And with me as my co-caster tonight, it's going to be Detri.
Hey guys, I'm back after a long hiatus. You're gonna see me more often. Get ready, buckle up. Here you go.
And yeah, with that out of the way, we're going to be going to map 1 here in a little bit. And it's going to be SSG Vesuvius coming out in the rosters first with Scene on tank, Yukaro on DPS, Grav Latte on DPS, along with DPS, and then Ultraviolet and Monitor on support. Not the right UV. Nonetheless. Anyways, we're going over to the side of the Comeback Kids as we have Dewey on tank, Ness on DPS, IRL on Tracer, WK on support, and Big Brain on support as well. So this roster looks familiar, I swear.
You
seen a
probably
lot of these people
recognize
around.
WK.
Dewey.
WK has made their appearance in Shadow as well as a lot of other things that your team is related to. So
Yeah, I feel like I've seen like most of this roster. I don't remember Nest though.
yeah, Ness might be a new find. And IRL is the flex DPS, not just the Tracer, by the way.
Oh, normally people just go into Tracer jail.
You're right.
Huh.
Well, Genji's kind of meta nowadays.
I am happy about that. But with that out of the way, it's gonna be Lijiang first here, Detri. So I mean, what are we gonna expect? If it's a control center, maybe the brawl, probably brawl for most of them, right?
You would think. I have a feeling that we're going to see a Winston. Um, I know that Comeback Kids loves to play the Winston, and they're confident in the Winston Tracer. So, although you did say Tracer, and usually it's just Genji on this map, you will see a Tracer, and you will see a Winston
Oh, I love Winston.
at
You know,
some
I'm probably
point.
traumatizing Caustic by saying that name. Honestly, as we're going into this first map, it's gonna be control center. It Zardul? What?
Zarya, okay.
I mean, I know Dewey loves Zarya. That's what he played in all of Div 3 last season, but I didn't expect the duel. It's gonna be for the side of SSG Vesuvius. You have no speed for the Zarya either. You're gonna be playing with the Mei and
The
with a
Mei is
Bap
great
Ana.
into a Zarya, wall him off versus Zarya through bubbles, especially with
No,
the Soj on your team, so
I've
it
been
might
trolling.
be beneficial to them.
So yeah, my main question here, Detri, is it's gonna be the Soj Reaper, and then I just realized there's a Junkrat swap on the field, and it's gonna be, like I said, no speed for the side of Vesuvius. So do you think they're just gonna try to play it slow, or just try to get a quick poke?
They're going to try to play it slow and try to play for a wall, play for the angles with their Soj. But
Oh,
with
grab!
the Junkrat, that Reaper it will not be able to play up close and personal.
Yeah, he just got sent to the earth by Ness and Loser with the Junk Soj. That's a lot of spam damage, and it hurts a real lot. As we're going to be getting Comeback Kids with the first point cap here. As everyone's still falling low, as both Zaryas are getting to full charge. It's going to be the engage coming in from Grab with a TP in. Dewey's able to find Yukaro. And it's going to be the engage from Comeback Kids here eventually with Dewey falling, though. It's a 4v4 on the point. The Vesuvius members are able to rotate in, while you do still have Nesquix on this high ground being able to take a good amount of angles, as Grave, meets a grave end, as Nesquix is able to get the pick. UV jumps up in the sky, and Nesquix is still on this high ground. Raining bullets, raining railgun. As this soldier is not getting dislodged, SSU Vesuvius was still able to get the flip, but for how much longer here, Detri, as Nesquix gets their third and final pick for the fight. Getting the point flipped back over as Vesuvius gets 16% there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed. No longer on the Mei, they're on the Reaper. We did notice that. But as you can tell, they're just playing to bubble the Reaper engages. However, that does use a bubble, and the Soj will get a lot of value beaming the Zarya.
Yeah. And now it's going to be a lot of ults coming up here, too. You got a Rush and Tire and a Grab coming up from Comeback Kids, and you have the window for the side of Vesuvius. You might want to pop this window quick if you want to take some extra space, because you have to worry about this Tire. Big Rain pops the Rush. It's going to be chaotic. By window comes in. Tire as well. It's going to be on the off angle. You still have Nesquix up on the high ground, and it's going to be a Tire sent to the back line, and it doesn't get a kill, but it breaks the lamp for Nesquix to get the pick onto UV. It's going to be a Nano onto Scene to keep this fight up for the side of Vesuvius, and they're able to find Dewey even after the grab. The Zarya for Vesuvius finds 3 with the help of Grave, and it's gonna be 4 and make it 5. That's gonna be a nice cleanup and a nice nano there from Monter.
Yeah, you can really see how much it hurts for a nano 100 charge Zarya.
It's like a
But we see 3 ults
70.
come out from Comeback Kids and only 2 for Vesuvius. Pretty big combo we can be seen here with the Grav and a Blossom.
And also, IRL is going over to the Tracer now, which is going to really be able to pressure the backline of Vesuvius with UV and Monter. And in the meantime, it's going to be Grave in the backline once again. He has the Blossom. WK gets hit with a sleep dart in the middle of the map, gets brought down. Grave's able to find IRL before they can recall. It's going to be an overclock with a grab. And Yukuro and Scene is going to be able to burst them down. I think it might be Sign. I don't even know. I'm going to have to ask them how to pronounce that later. With that, it's only 1 ult there, though, and Comeback Kids pop nothing. So honestly, decent ult economy here for either team, Detrick.
Yeah, really smart not popping ults in response.
Big nade.
Huge nade by Monter.
And that's going to be
You gotta just get out and reset here.
And now you have IRL getting close to the pulse. It's getting close to last fight territory if these fights get drawn out. 70% and counting for Vesuvius. You still have another nano coming up for Monter, and you still have double DPS ults. While you're walking in for Comeback Kids, you have the pulse, you have double portals, and you have the clock. You should be able to find a pick with one of them, but you need to move quickly here as time on the point is starting to burn. And it's going to be the rush coming in for Big Rain. Nesquix could go on the off angle with the overclock. They take the high ground once again. Monter falling low. Dewey able to find Grave. Loser finds the pulse bomb onto Yukuro. And it's going to be the flip for Comeback Kids with just 2 ults. All they're really going to need there. Have 3 coming up. Finally getting Dewey be able to get that grab. And that might be a fight winner here if you might be able to chuck it onto Grave or someone before they can pop an ult.
Yeah, Comeback
It's going to be a
Kids.
beat.
That's got to be a misclick because Comeback Kids gotta play close here. You gotta play close, force out ults early on, try to get picks, and that's OC for little to no value. Seen just walking with Nano as usual, 100 charge.
And that's going to be Yukuro with the clock cleaning up. WK going down. It's just the Tracer left. IRL not able to survive as Vesuvius kind of just had the ult advantage there. Comeback Kids did not put on their pressure fast enough. Gave Vesuvius the rest of the time to build their ults. And Dewey got ran over with 1% away from his grab.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lose. You know, you can grab him off point. You have beat to sustain for the nano. I mean, just a little early on the beat. No grav used, so it's very tough for Comeback Kids to lose there. But you gotta be playing close, try to force their ults early on point and kite it out.
Yeah. And now, doesn't look like there's gonna be a single swap here for Grave Torp. I don't trust it. No, I don't think I'm being trolled. No.
I'm not sure what I'm seeing. We don't see a TP out from Vesuvius.
Turret for IRL.
So Comeback Kids should have good pressure here.
Yeah, and a kind of a big target in the Torbjorn. I mean, he may be short, but hitbox kind of wide. As the turret here should be able to maybe help with IRL, but you put it right in front of Dewey there on the Zarya, not gonna make it as easy. With Scene going to full charge here, both Zarya is actually pretty much at max. That's going to be the engage from Vesuvius with Comeback Kids having the main point control. Both Sojourners go down in the meantime. A little clear to the head on Yukuro, and Yukuro finding Nesquix. So you got to take that trade as Grave falls low. And it's going to be Ultraviolet falling low as well, with Monter and Scene the last ones to be surviving. Dewey does go down, and the Zarya bubble saves Monter at the last second. And the Zarya might just be enough to peel and win this fight. You still have full charge, but it's too many angles, I think. As you're going to find Nesquix dying. Scene still falling low and finally gets picked off with Comeback Kids at 15% and counting. And that was a really, really scrappy fight with IRL cleaning up the last 2 picks there.
Yeah, IRL, it seems like their Grave is on the Torb to mark IRL, but I don't know if IRL's really struggling against it, just being a menace to the BAP in the backline.
Yeah, and now IRL has the pulse bomb. Oh, Grave. Grave, you don't get pulse, Grave. Oh, the blink hits the table. 40% counting now for Comeback Kids as Vesuvius is going to try to run through. Gets counteracted by the rush to be able to run down. No overload for the Torbjorn. Pulse comes in, able to find Monter. And with the rush, it absolutely contradicts the window. And Yukuro finds WK in the meantime. And it's going to be Yukuro finding 2, trying to stall this out for Vesuvius. Maybe salvage something here to get in quick. as your Zarya does fall, but Comeback Kids do lose 2 Nesquicks and WK as it's the retouch. Gonna be close here for both teams, actually.
That's a great ult trade for Comeback Kids. You know, you have Kitsune for Window and Pulse, and they swapped off the Torbs, so they're pretty much even in their ults.
Yeah. And now you have Yukiro getting marked out by the Tracer here from IRL. And Yukiro does not run into the lamp, and it's already forced out. So it's going to be a nano scene to run in, try to salvage something here. They find WK, they find Dewey, and they, I think that was for Dewey just in case they didn't die, but the grab is wasted as Nesquicks recontest with the overclock. Everyone's on the side of Vesuvius. They don't really have any room to run, as the soldier's going to be raining railgun, fighting Yukiro, trying to burst down Grave, as Big Brain's going to hit the icicle, and I think Scene killed himself with the grenade as Comeback Kids.
That's what happens when you have that perk. when you don't choose the no damage to yourself perk, that's what's gonna happen, I guess.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a kind of dominant second round there for Comeback Kids going into Gardens here. I mean, I don't know what you really want to switch up here if you were Vesuvius, and I don't think it's gonna be D.Va.
I would not make it the D.Va pick. The cast is pretty good into a Tracer. I think that's pretty smart. But we see IRL pulling out the Pharah.
Wanted.
IRL's getting double countered here. Here we go.
Oh,
unaware of what Vesuvius is playing.
I mean, I do like the Pharah in theory, but with the Cass and D.Va?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to get any value. You got to
just
play
cannot
very
beat
safe
Dewey
and just
Bubbles.
poke out the supports.
Just don't feed Dewey Bubbles and it'll all be okay. So now, I mean, gonna be Comeback Kids getting the main engage to... Okay. Just had a jump scare there. The D.Va almost gets moved off the map by IRL. As UV's gonna get hit with another straight kunai with I mean, Big Brain just shucking him down main. I have, what, 4 picks in some of these fights already now? With the kunai? It's been good.
Yeah.
Real
It's
good.
been a few. Just the important ones, especially.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be rotate into the left side, trying to get into the white room for the side of Vesuvius, as it's gonna be a little bit of rough engage as you have Monter on the Curie now. I forgot to mention that swap. Just for the Suzu, maybe a little more burst healing. And now it's gonna be 20% counting for Comeback Kids. You have a nice angle on the point with Dewey taking the front of the damage, and having IRL is being able to just spam rockets at their leisure. As it's going to be Dewey full charge, Scene falling low, and it's going to be Vesuvius getting a decent hold here on the point eventually, as Dewey uses most of the bubbles. Zarya is not going to fall down, however, the care from the supports is just really good, as Sign has to go back to get heals, and I am just butchering the name every time I'm saying it. And now Grav and Yukiro falling low. That's going to be a small disengage as you try to chuck Sign in. Dewey's going to be able to care, but Yukiro is able to find Nesquicks with the help of their D.Va taking the front of the damage. Dewey's going on the off angle, getting close to a grab with a barrage on the way from IRL as well. As 50% counting, Yukiro finds another pick on the left side here. Somehow doesn't get booped by WK. And I think it took a while, but Vesuvius is finally able to find their footing and get the flip.
Yeah, Comeback Kids should just be playing very passive backside of point, forcing them to engage. They have no distance poke. They have a cast. They have a tracer. You got to be playing safe, let them engage, and just get as much point value as you can.
Yeah, and I mean, literally, we got pretty much every ult on board here besides maybe a stray beat from WK. What do you think we're going to see here as we're about to start?
We're definitely going to be seeing a window any second.
There's the run.
There's
It double
the window
supports from
and
Vesuvius.
the Kitsune.
It's gonna be probably enough to keep Scene alive, and it is. You do burst down Dewey. There's gonna be a barrage in the backline from IRL. It gets traded out. You lose your mech for the Scene on the D.Va. You instantly pop the bomb to get it back. And Grav and Yukiro still have their ults. They're still fighting in the backline. Grav whiffs the pulse, and it's going to be still enough as Nesquik's gonna get bursted down. And that was pretty much every ult that had the go button on, as soon as you had the button unlocked, you pressed it. So it's gonna be a noon versus clock and double supports for Comeback Kids.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Vesuvius. They dropped everything, but they do hold the point for a little bit longer, and I think now would be the best time to use as many ults as they have.
Grav's able to manage something out, though. It's going to be a nice clip from the Tracer there, being able to find the Genji in the meantime, while the rest of Comeback Kids were going in on the engage. And a big noon! Wow, that was... I don't know how that actually came to be. Yukiro was able to get 3 there. Was it a boop from Scene, or was it just... a
Just
really
the
nice
speed.
angle.
Just the speed from
It's,
everything. Just walking, cast speed walking. You know how it is. Walks up
and now,
and comeback hits didn't expect it.
yeah, and I mean, you're able to manage. You don't have any ults, though, but you still have a good way to force this to at least overtime, and you have another fight after this just in case, as Nesquik does have the overclock looking to get the off angle here with the beat, and it's going to be the supports for the side of Vesuvius. Falling low, Monter finally falls, and it's going to be IRL falling once again. The Nesquik's able to find the pick with the clock. Do we find another pick here, I'm pretty sure, on to No.
Yeah, you want to stagger this diva here. You want to chase them, but not feed. You know.
Yeah, and now Grav just touched the point and left. Maybe they want to get the extra percent, but it already got flipped. I don't know. But now you do have your ults coming up for the side of Vesuvius. You should just try to play and get them quickly, and then be able to run down the rest of comeback hits, right?
Yeah, and I'm expecting to see a
Quick engage.
overzealous diva bomb here, honestly, rather than to live. Oh, but they did
And-
flip the point.
They got the flip as all of comeback kids were able to catch a rookie Yukaro as they all went 5 onto the Cassidy, and that's gonna give chance for Vesuvius to get the flip. Sign still has the bomb, being able to burst down Dewey. That's a lot of the damage that they had to worry about gone. It's gonna be a rush from Big Brain. You have to survive to get this remech to be able to fight this, and you do, and you get a mech up on a Big Brain, and now you have Yukaro and the Soldier on the off angle. It's gonna be a blade from IRL to be able to force back Scene. And it does, but Yukaro's able to find WK. The blade does not get to the Soldier in time. You do not have your dash. And it's going to be the rest of the members of Vesuvius being able to get a quick. Monster has the rush incoming as Dewey goes over to the Winston to try to touch. And it's going to be the rest of Vesuvius coming in quick as Scene finds IRL. Nesquik is able to find Dewey. It's a 44 on the point. Dewey falling 1. The Diva is able to get the confirm. You have Grav on the off angle with the Tracer doing a lot of work here for the side of Vesuvius. And the Tracer, the Soldier, all the speed switches, they come through. Monster doesn't even pop the rush. As overtime will burn. And IRL is able to get the touch. It's still going here for comeback hits as Dewey's coming back soon. IRL gets bursted down. And the boop is good. Vesuvius. They had a really nice third round there, and I think what really got them the momentum near the end was able to get that flip. Like, you do get Yukaro
Yeah.
there for comeback kids, but at what cost?
Allowing that flip to occur really pushes away your momentum to chase the kills. You know, so that's a tough one, but it was still winnable. You just gotta actually play on the same target. Everybody was a little split. Blade found nobody, unfortunately. Honestly, you gotta try to Blade to kill the people that are coming back to point rather than hold point down.
Yeah.
Really well done from Vesuvius. Really good third point. Way different compared to that second point. And I'm interested to see Hybrid now. That was a really tough fight. Control.
Yeah, and I mean, if you are the side of comeback kids, you obviously want Dewey on the Zarya. That is his calling card. So I don't think you really want to force this to somewhere like Powder Isa where it's forced on the high ground, even with the new perks. With Zarya's
no.
grenade buff, no.
I
Kinda the
would
same thing
think
for Hollywood.
Kings Row. I would think
Yeah.
Kings Row for sure if they want to play Zarya. I mean, even if they want to play the Winston.
The
With
angles
the
on
way
first are so
with the
good
way
now.
Vesuvius was playing Diva, I wouldn't even recommend. Definitely would try to force a King's Row. Hope your Soj can get more value, and see how you do there.
And I think what really came to a head going back to that last fight on Lijiang, I mean, you find Yukaro, who was honestly on the Cassidy, they were able to put in a lot of work. Like, obviously, both Zaryas damaged tanks, damaged sponges. But, like, Yukaro was able to find off angles in so many of these fights, getting 2 or even 3 picks. And, I mean, you finally get that pick, but I think you got too overzealous, which kind of sold it. So if you can just tighten up the comms a little bit, tighten up your rotations, be able to quickly jump the cast, get a quick stabilize if you need to, and then be able to run back in and walk down the rest of Vesuvius, I think that might be your key to victory here.
100%. You can't let that cast play the outside like that. Either Lucio and Tracer got to mark it, or so just to poke it out. That cast having any space to walk up is just going to be detrimental, if you should say, to comeback kids.
What an interesting choice of words. Wonder what your name is, Detri.
So coming into this hybrid map, I'm just gonna jump in here. What do you guys guess this hybrid map is gonna be? I'm gonna give you one guess, because if you don't get it on one guess, I don't know what to say.
King's Drip.
Of course, it's King Row. It's always been King's Row. It's always going to be King's Row.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how can you not
I
love
don't
a
even
fan
know why
favorite?
I showed the map pool.
I mean,
it's gonna be King's Row.
It's
to be
just-
honest,
it's a
like,
favorite.
it's Scrims Row for a reason. It has its own name. But hey, I played Hollywood in my match earlier, so that's got to count for something.
It means your
Everyone,
team's crazy.
it wasn't our pick.
Okay, so you were forced against your will. We get it.
Yeah, and it's somehow still worked, but nonetheless, that's like the one time I've seen Hollywood all season.
Yeah, it's.
Nonetheless, it's
I mean,
KR.
it's definitely you could pull out like something like Parisa or whatever it may be because most teams are not going to be practicing it in scrims. Most teams love to play Kings Row. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if it's practice or not. They're going to still choose Kings Row, even if that's what they practice every time. They're not going to go against what they love to play. And so, if you really wanted to, you could get really good at Parisa and then just steamroll it.
Yeah,
Most teams don't have that experience.
having those like random maps, like let's say another map on this map pool off topic. Like I know we're probably getting off topic, but it gives us time to talk about stuff before like maybe the potential maps because seems like it would be a close series, Datcher. And I
Yeah,
mean
this does seem like it
another
will be a close one. I will say though, it's gotta the comeback kids has to clean up the back line a little bit. I think
yeah
Kiri's a little too focused on damage output, and Lucio's a little too focused on playing with the Kiri. And if that those two combos, one of them is gonna die every time because Kiri will TP out. Lucio won't. You will be forced to use something that they don't want to use. You know, they got to clean up that backline a little bit.
yeah. And back at the topic of like weird map picks, just in case. You know what map? Like obviously we've seen so many 3-0s on stream that we haven't seen a map for, really. But like like Shambhali's been mostly picked by everyone, and then there's like Root. Those are like maps that you can expect to play. I Havana. No one picks Havana, so that might just be something for later. If someone has a secret comp set up for that, just thought
I
that'd be an
mean,
interesting thing to bring
if
up.
you have trust in your hit scan DPS, fucking Havana is a great spot to be.
Yeah, you gotta love poke, and hey, I love and that would mean Sigma gameplay, and I love that. But that's off topic. We're going to Scrims Row with probably I guess no swaps coming in for either team. But that's gonna be in a moment. So I mean, do you think we could? I'm assuming it's gonna be maybe a Zartul again, Dentry.
Yeah, I'd assume so, and I assume we see the May again.
For real this time.
Yeah, for real this time. Maybe even a Torb. I'm definitely expecting a Soj on both teams. You know, we'll see what we see. But the backline is what I'm most curious for because we did see a BAP last time, and BAP is
Yeah.
actually pretty good on Kings Row. So
Yeah, you can hold the high grounds pretty well, especially on first in those little tight windows.
yeah, exactly.
And I mean, here's my question. If Costa could tell me, do we know how to pronounce the tank for Vesuvius' name? Is it Sign? Is it Scene?
You know, honestly, as the map was going,
has an
I
accent
was
mark.
sat there and yeah, I was sat there and I'm like, I know I've seen that accent mark in my French classes. So I'm going through, I'm like, okay, I'll use an
pretty sure it's
example, the
German,
word
no?
entree or something like that has that
Isn't it?
that
Isn't it
accent. So
German?
I'm like, saying is my only guess, and I'm thinking like, is it supposed to be a play of words on like Saiyan, like a Super Saiyan?
Interesting, interesting. You know, I thought it was German, and I thought it was pronounced like Sein,
Oh, that would
like
actually.
like a Z.
Yeah, it's up to debate. I'm gonna ask.
We should ask
just,
them.
I just put it in the match chat trying to figure out if they can
This
tell
is
me.
important questions because I don't want these guys to watch stream and be
Sane.
like, "What is this guy saying?" Sane?
Sane is their name.
Like,
S-A-N-E.
I'm going insane, I guess.
Insane.
What is this?
Also, yes, there are going to be some
So
swaps coming
we're
into
overthinking
this.
it.
Yes.
Oh, there are swaps.
We're overthinking it, and it's actually just somebody who doesn't know how to spell. Sane. Got it.
Dentry!
Sorry. Sane. I love it. It's a play on words. You know, insane.
I'm gonna need to remember
sane.
that.
That's detrimental to their confidence. Anyways, we're going
Nothing but
to
love, nothing but
see loser IRL is going to be swapped over to tank. Dewey is going to
IRL's
be
going to tank?
Yep. Dewey is going
What?
on the bench, and
Oh. Who's filling in for DPS?
Tyexer is coming in, and I'm
Ty?
probably
Oh, okay. You can call them
butchering their
Ty.
name.
You can call them Ty.
Yeah.
They go by Ty.
Alright.
It is Tyler. Ty is good.
Oh,
Um, yeah, Ty. And so
Ty.
I'm predicting a Tracer.
all right. More Tracer
That's my
gaming. I
prediction.
mean, last night I was casting a lot of Tracer and a lot of pulse bombs. Caustic can attest to that. Eventually,
Too many pulse
there's a lot of
bombs.
them, especially on King's Row. I mean, with the tight corridors, tight little angles, the Tracer can just get around, blink, and just chuck it. Pulse bomb on the brig potentially. We saw a brig last night for some reason.
Yeah. Well, Brig is not
I'm
terrible
so
with a Juno, you know? You put
yeah.
a
I'm
Juno on
also
your
just
Brig.
seeing. I'm seeing ultraviolet. And it's messing me up. thinking OWCS, but it's not the right guy.
Okay, wait. I'm a little confused right now. So we have 3 DPS? Oh, IRL swapped
Oh.
to tank. Okay.
Yeah. IRL's on tank as Ty is gonna be on the.
flex now.
Okay, I'm not gonna trust that offense comp yet because I don't trust Zen Pharah in this economy. But with Sign,
Yeah.
well, not Sign, Sane. Sane. With Sane being on Diva comp again, actually there is a lot of switches here. UV's on the Kiriko, Monter's on the Ana still, but you have Yukaro on the Genji and Grave on the Ash. I think it's a lot more poke-ish, and you can get Yukaro in with Sane more to get the dives. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, defense here is pretty difficult, especially considering the fact that teams can just counter swap and be right there. You got to play good rotations, flip the map, and, you know, with the Pharah from Ty, you expect to see get poked out by the Diva and the Ashe consistently.
My question is, you have IRL in on tank for Dewey, but you're still on Zarya.
Yep,
That's
I guess the flexibility is not too high between them.
they both like Zara, and I mean, she is fun, and it's gonna. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
works. It gets sane.
IRL gets up there. That is actually kind of a nice rotation there from the IRL being able to get up to the back line and find Yukaro. I don't even think I would think of that if I was playing there in that situation.
Oh, that's why it comes from Zarya players. So now we know that IRL is a Zarya player confirmed.
Yeah. As Graves gonna find Ty at least, but you still have 5.5 minutes on this time bank Detry, as no switches yet, as you're gonna have to hold choke here for the side of Vesuvius.
Yeah, you know, that's actually a really good trade from Ty. You want to try to play the pressure so they don't walk up to point, just in case. Even if you die for it, not a big deal. And we see a sim swap to just try to blow up the Diva, is my guess, with the double beam.
I mean, maybe TP onto Grave if you have the opportunity to?
Yeah.
I mean, the poke gets ultraviolet!
Poke.
The sim orbs are kind of nice.
Now
as
you
Ty
do
finds
have
another.
Double beam, just walk on this Diva, no?
I mean, it seems like it as Sane's gonna fall low. Grave gets a bob eventually here, but I don't think they're gonna pop it as Sane finally falls. And there it is! Wait, what? Oh, okay. It forces comeback kids back for a moment, but for how long as you lose your baby Diva? I mean, if you're comeback kids, you're happy about it for sure. That's a bob gone.
Rose and throwing a dynamite. I love to see it.
I mean, IRL finds Grave, and I'm assuming a switch, right? Why use the bob, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. I'd assume a switch. Maybe just trying to stall, knowing you're gonna die. I'm not exactly sure because they did lose their Diva, so it could have been to stall point.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be nice melee there from Sane at the last second, so Nesquik doesn't get the beat from WK, and you still have 4 ults online at least if you are on the side of comeback kids, but you already lost your speed. Ty tries to just get us something good for their team, trying to find maybe the Diva at the last second, get the DMAC. Even
you see, that is pretty good. You use beat for, you know, they're down Bob, they're down Kitsune.
Yeah.
You have 4 ults to work with here, and I think Simwall is just going to be an absolute game changer here into their comp.
Ooh, it's a rotate into alleyway here for comeback kids. It's going to be a grab from IRL. And the TP's in there. It's going to be a nano onto Yukaro. The last moment. Blade's coming in.
A stacked blade.
Swinging. That's going to be 2. Look for more. The Lucio cannot get away. Actually, no, they do get away. That's a really nice boop. I lied.
Oh.
As WK
Found.
barely dies. Yukaro
But
almost.
again, that's 2 more ults for just 1.
Yeah, and IRL, by the way, is gonna lock the Diva duel now.
Yeah, I
As
see Yukuro
Yukiro
going back to spawn to get a swap in.
is something planned. I don't know what. And the only ult you have for Vesuvius while you're down 1 is going to be a bomb just to get Sane's mech back, as you have to worry about a wall and a clock. I feel like either if you combo that with the clock or the rush, you still just get so much defense to walk in and put the pressure on to the side of comeback kids. It's going to be the walls to start off. Sane looking for WK, and the Lucio falling to 1 will not fall, and it's going to be Yukiro going to the Sombra. That was our swap, as Big Brain trying to contest this with the rush,
Yeah, no.
as the rest of the members of comeback kids are going
Sane
to be
is
putting on
not
the
going to be
pressure.
able to. Oh, we see a
Oh,
Diva bomb
Yukiro.
coming in.
Sane
Aw,
cannot get back on their mech.
No fine, but that's okay. That's okay. They still have everybody else here. Oh, but they do lose Grave, and I don't think they're gonna get another touch. But they did force, 2 of their ults out.
Yeah, and you still have the overclock for Nesquix, and IRL is back to the bomb here as Grave gets a Bob and UV gets too close to a rush. But my main question here, Detri, is I'm a little confused on the Sombra swap against the Sim Diva.
I'm going to assume they're trying to play to blow up the Diva as well, without playing Sim or Mei.
Most
Hack the
likely.
Diva, kill the Diva. You know how it is.
And here comes Bob. Ty is going to be in Bob's sights, as it's going to force the rest of Comeback Kids back for now, as the Bob will find Ty, as you have Yukiro forcing out Big Brain on the off angle there on the Mega. And now you're going to be starting the elusive Kings Row third hold with 3 minutes to go for Comeback Kids and 3 ults to their name. I don't know how you want to take this one if you're Comeback Kids, but it seems to be investing into the dive with Ty going over to the Genji, being able to force out the backline more, as Thane's going to find WK in the chaos as dropping a rush on top. You're going to have Vesuvius playing with all the tempo, and Nesquix and IRL have to go back into the spawn. I mean, you don't use any ults, but that is time burned. So, not going to be bad as, Dasher, I think we call that an overextension.
Yeah, I mean, they do force OC and spawn, but
There's the bomb from Sane.
Ooh.
UV's falling low,
Ooh.
and the Sojourn is just gonna be able to rain havoc.
but Diva does get a remech, and Diva is going to be coming from. You know what? I'm going to retract. Diva is going to be flanking now.
I find Yukiro. I mean, what you really need to do now is play for that EMP or play for a nano, because you're down 1. You still have 2 minutes. If you get picked off now, yeah, Monter literally has to pop the nano to save their own life. And it's a B from WK to counteract all the damage. IRL gets D-Mech, but it's going to be a bomb. Sane cannot escape. Actually, they do. And the mech,
Nope,
and
the
D-Mech
squishes.
sign!
Yes, it does.
It's going to be a nade coming in. Monster's able to find
Huge
Big Brain.
nade.
Yukiro pops the EMP. It finds 2, but there's no one else to help get the confirms. As it's just going to be the Ana left here for the side of Vesuvius. And it's going to be a minute and 30 on the dot for
That
Comeback
is-
Kids.
That is really big. Getting more than a minute, really big. If they can hold them to less than 0 here, then there's no way they can lose, even if they full cap.
Yeah, can we just go back to that last fight for a moment? Because I think having Vesuvius, they really just they tried to disengage and then try to go back, but they kind of just all sat near that mini.
Yeah,
And it kind of just
they
got
didn't
clogged.
full kite. They didn't full kite, and you see that disaster come through, because now your Sombra's in alone, uses
The nano
EMP
was
because
forced.
there's a lot of targets there. Of course you're gonna EMP, right?
Yeah.
But there's nobody to follow it up. So that's just unfortunate. Slow on the rotations. It
Yeah.
happens. We do see Ty pulling out the Mei, which I expected to see. We
Oh,
see Grave
damn.
on the Tracer, which is not what I expected to see. We see
Double
actual
flex.
double flex DPS coming out.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
On
Grave
the
is now
offense,
on
and
the
now it's gonna be Ty going over to the Tracer. I guess they were just swapping for each other without even knowing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That was. See, this is something I expected to see. Ty on the Tracer, but I did expect to see Yukiro or Grave on the Mei.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be potential Juno Ana for coming in from the side of Vesuvius. I actually don't hate that. Getting the speed onto Sane would be good, along with having just more care and, Orbit, one of the best ults in the game.
It is true, but with a Tracer, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be very tough. Your Genji's gonna constantly be marking the Tracer, never gonna
Right
be
side
able to
rotation.
engage with the Diva.
And Ty instantly gets forced out as all the members of Vesuvius are going to the right high ground. in the alleyway. UV getting walked on by IRL. The Ram just punching as much as he can, but Monter and UV are able to stabilize. And now you just gotta hope you are able to stabilize enough so maybe Nesquik doesn't get a disruptor shot in there. Ty doesn't get you on the stairs. Because the off angles are worrisome, but you are able to get the rotates in. Monter falls.
Ooh, Anna falls.
Monter is getting run down. You have IRL running in, and that is, I think the speed ring was able.
Yeah,
I think speed ring ran
I think
out.
Speed ring ran out. Yeah, that's really tough.
That's so unfortunate.
They had to, they had to turn and peel for the Ana. But Yukaro does find WK.
And you have 2 on the high ground here. Gonna be the Ashen. It's not a bad setup. I mean,
they don't know.
You're gonna get
No,
walked
they
on
know,
for
they
sure.
know. And now they might die late. They might die late.
UV, what? They're not. They
No,
baited them to drop. I think they faked the drop. That's
Yeah,
smart.
that's huge.
Monter
However,
still
now they're just
falls.
going to be split if they don't get this poke damage from behind. And
now you have
since the
Sane up
map is-
here.
Since they do get the pick on Big Brain, but like they flip the map, right? So if they just play safe and play for the picks of the people coming out of spawn, Vesuvius can't do much here. They just keep picking off those people leaving spawn.
Yeah, and now you have Yukaro going over the Tracer, being able to help get a pincer onto the side of Comeback Kids, and this might turn for the side of Vesuvius, as you still have the Ash and June up on the high ground. You have Ty falling low. You have a Pulse Bomb, though. Monter could be worried, as Grave getting carried as much as he can. IRL pops the overclock. Next finds Monter, and it's gonna be the Annihilation, standing true to its name. And now I think you finally get a tick here if you're
You wanna
Vesuvius, but I
stagger
think
this
that
Diva
took
here.
too long, and that's 2 minutes and more.
Yeah, and even if Diva gets a remake here, they could just kill it again. So they honestly might just want to do that.
No. Sane. That was unfortunate. That was, I mean, it's a good stagger though. That's for sure. And now that you force out the remote roll, so Detra, you have an orbit online, but you also have Sane going over to the Ram. So what's gonna be the main play
I
here?
wouldn't doubt if we see a nano orbit ram and they just fucking run it down. I would not doubt seeing that. But Tyler does
Ty
get Yukaro.
gets Yukaro? Does Tracer on Tracer stick?
Oh, and
Ow!
Nesquix gets the grave. Sane does find Nesquix.
This is just scrappy. I think Sane's about to fall over as...
Not unless
Brain
they get
falls?
another pick.
I mean, Sane gets back faster than Big Brain, even with WK taxiing them. So
Yeah.
theoretically, if you can run in with the orbit now, they're going
Bob.
now.
Bob
Oh
for
my, it's a
touch.
Bob on point.
Oh, Bob does not go to
He's
point.
in the hallway at least.
And
It's gonna be
there's
an orbit on
orbit.
top.
But
Grave
WK,
has the
WK
angle.
is dead, no beat.
No beat. You're right. As Grave, where are they? Oh, they just walked down main and just started shooting. And that's gonna finally be a 3-minute hold, but the cap is finally completed for first by the rest of Vesuvius.
You really want to get a full kite there and then just re-engage with beat. That's what you got to do. Hopefully your team can get back, drop Kitsune once Kiri's back from TPing in, and hopefully pull out that win on top,
Yeah. I'm mainly worried about Monter here, because I mean, Ty doesn't have the pulse bomb yet, but I honestly just thought Yukaro was Ty. That's my head. I was going to something, they just ran off. But now it's going to be the rush coming in for Big Brain. It's going to be a nice nade onto IRL, forcing him back, giving Sane a lot of room to walk in. As Nextquix is able to find Yukaro on the off angle. As Sane gets nanoed, Grave finds Ty, and there's going to be no tracers in this fight.
Yeah, that I always get
Clock?
confused when that happens because I'm like, did one die? Did two die? Did they get the pick before they died? Nope, just both tracers are out of the fight now. But
And IRL gets the cleanup.
they do use OC and Kitsune. They do get Nano out, and they do have no Bob and no Juno now from previous fight.
Ult
You know,
advantage,
ult
I'd say
advantage.
comeback hits.
Yeah, comeback kids, 100%. You just got to use them wisely here. Hopefully use beat for
Pulse bomb
the
Yukaro?
Ram will
No.
kite it out.
Yeah, and now IRL will be pushing into the spawn with the
Aggressive
Annihilation.
Ram ult.
It's going to be a nice punch there from Sign. Well, not Sign. Sane. Oh, I almost... Wait. Yeah, I'm just
Team
losing
is
it.
just comeback kids has to stop
Annihilation!
overextending here. Let their tank do the work.
I think IRL tried to do some work. Not enough, though, as WK and Big Brain are able to keep up the... Actually, no, WK is dead. I thought I saw Lucio. I'm going crazy. As Big Brain's able to keep up IRL, and now it's going to be a minute and a half. You only have a pulse bomb for the side of Vesuvius, and you still have a beat and a rush coming up for the side of Big
That
Brain.
is tough to still have beat now into their Orbital Ray or Nano. That's a really tough one for Vesuvius, so they gotta try
they're-
to kill this Lu.
They're just walking past Sane. Yukiro trying to find a pulse. It's stuck onto WK. Nesquik falls. It's a 2v3 here on the point. As IRL is trying to find Yukiro, the Tracer is able to survive. Sane is still on the point trying to find the supports, but it's not looking good as the Tracer has to run around like a madman, trying to find health pack, get those blanks back. But it's going to be Yukiro being able to force a recall. Sane finds Big Brain, and they finally fall, but maybe the 4v3 is
Ty does get
doable?
Sane.
Maybe the 4v5? I don't know. UV goes over to the BAP as well. Ty looking for a pull down of their own there potentially. As you're getting close into last fight territory, Detry, and you're kind of just taking this one too quickly, I think.
Yeah, you really got to regroup and get.
Grave!
Oh, wow. Just a slide
That-
jump shot. That's crazy. But they do still have
disgusting.
beat. They have Kitsune. You want to open up with Kitsune now and then use beat this save later on. Play aggressive with your Kitsune.
They're giving it a second,
giving them a
giving
lot of
Vesuvius some
space, yeah.
space.
Point
As
control.
IRL will fall low, you're getting closer to Annihilation at least. Maybe that's what you're playing for. As the overtime is going to activate here soon. Grave slides out at the last second. Beat's going to go out. Rush. 3 ults out. Ty
Yep.
still has the pulse bomb. Out. It finds Monter. And
And
that's
that's
going to be
just-
your second map with
That
a
is
ult
just
dump
ult
from
advantage.
Comeback
Yep.
Kids.
That
ult
is
dump.
just the ult dump. Really
And
well
even
played.
if
But
you
I
wait a
will
little bit
say-
longer, that was another clock coming in from the next quicks.
Yeah, 100%. I think I understand. I didn't even notice the charge from the Nemesis or the OC. So definitely a good point to kite a little bit, build a little charge on those, have those as well for the fight. So now you just have 5 ults, right? Really
Yeah.
well played. Personally,
1-1?
I still would go early. You know, because I'm still gonna build that ult in the meantime. You know, use one ult at a time rather than all 5 at once.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to be your KR, a pretty nice map there by Comeback Kids. Like, you got 3 points on King's Row, and you got a good hold, and you got the map win. It's still a decently close series, though. You just had a really rough first point for Vesuvius, where you were stalled out for the first 2 minutes, stuck on the high ground.
Okay, am I mistaken? Who is Phantasma Dryasm?
I think that's just PD. That's what the PD stands for.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's. I'm
What does
assuming
that
it's
mean? I didn't even know that, and I'm
Well, I know
supposed to know that.
Phantasma. There's probably something to do with ghosts, but Diazin, I have no. That's something we'd have to ask the owner.
I like it.
I-
I like it. But
the
yeah,
logo
no,
is
this
nice,
is going to be a close game. I mean, even though it was 3-1, it was still pretty close. I think it was just the constant ult advantage from Comeback Kids as well as just the better comps. I think, you know, being stuck on Diva for most of the game kind of gives you a little bit of a disadvantage into the current meta. There's not really a meta, but there is at the same time, you know.
It's kind of nice, honestly, not having like a set in stone meta. You
A
can
hard
see a lot
meta.
of
Yeah,
stuff.
I will say it's more a brawl meta
Yeah.
rather than dive meta.
Dive or
So
poke.
yeah, or poke.
Poke is
So
dead.
I will say it's not character meta wise, but play style meta. There is the thing,
Yeah.
and Ram is just really strong.
With that, I think Detru should be going to a 5-minute break. So I think with that we
Awesome.
can take a short break. I
Yep.
probably need to get some water. Everyone needs to stay hydrated.
I need
Get
to
some
get
snacks.
another
Another close series.
I have a response
Fermented
from one of
beverage.
the Comeback Kids players. I asked
Lore.
Caster's random question, what does Phantasma Deism mean? And we have a response. It's not the owner, so can't necessarily say it's a set in stone response, but the answer is, and I quote, no idea.
Let's go.
They don't even know.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, let's try to
you
get
know
that
what?
figured out in the break.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's definitely just one of those, hey Google or hey ChatGPT, give me a cool name.
That's crazy. All right. With that, we're going to the short break. Me and Detry and Caustic on occasion will be coming back soon. So be ready for Flashpoint, as I'm expecting to see more Zard. And welcome back, everyone, to our third map of our second game of the night with Comeback Kids just previously taking Kings Row against SSG Vesuvius, with the series being tied up at 1-1. Vesuvius is going to decide to go to Suravasa here, Detri, for Flashpoint. What do you think we're going to see?
I'm expecting a ram from both sides here.
Really?
Ram is really strong in Saravasa, maybe a queen. I would say queen, but we haven't seen a queen yet. So kind of thinking against that. And we will see a Soj or a Cass from either side. Both are really strong in this map.
I
Genji
was
for the height.
kind of guessing Azar, honestly.
You think it's Zara? I feel like Zara would just get poked out like a
I
lot, a
mean,
lot.
theoretically speaking, but both teams have been trying to run it. I mean, at least Comeback Kids did finally switch off of it because there are no swaps, so maybe you're right. I don't know. It's gonna be. Oh, there's your queen.
Diva, and there is the queen. Yes. You see here, I. They don't know it. We know it. But I would probably play Ram into this comp, Diva Soj. You have ultimate survivability. You can burst the Diva, whatever it may be. I like the Genji for the height.
Oh,
And we do see a pause, maybe a
a
DC,
short
maybe just a need
pause.
pause.
As we're going back, I mean, let's talk about how the Diva's gonna play into the queen here.
Yeah, Diva's going to have to play really, really, really safe. Try not to take too much poke by the Soj or the Queen and allow their DPS to, get some picks. But with that being said, I don't know how the DPS are going to get picks if they can't walk up, if Diva's, trying to survive. So
Yeah,
we'll see what we
and
see.
from the queen, you're walking into the Juno Brig backline. How well do you think that UV and Monter are gonna fare against IRL here?
It should be due to the brig. I think it will be decent. The flight from UV, the brig bash, the brig whip. I think Queen will just have to find another target.
All right, and then it's gonna be starting out with Comeback Kids getting the start of the point with Yukaro and the rest of Vesuvius deciding to take the more safer angle and just get Sane up on the high ground now to take some space. As point will start to be captured as Sane's gonna be running in as
Sane
Nesquix
is
also finds
overextending.
Brave.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's going to be scrappy, but
like I
yeah.
said, Sane's gonna have to play a lot safer and allow the DPS to do more rather than go for the picks on the backline. I don't think that's gonna be the way to win this here.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be working out in Comeback Kids' favor, though, as you're able to get the point flip, 10% and counting. And I mean, you can really just utilize Nesquix and Ty on these off angles and be able to burst everyone down with IRL running up main. And here we go as
Sane is
Sane's
losing
are
all
on low.
Yeah, that just really getting poked out.
Yeah, and the rest of the members of
Again,
Vesuvius
D-Max,
can see their
yep.
Diva fall. No mech, no real chance of fighting this. And
WK is found as a trade, but now they could just kite. They're up in the fight. They got 2 for 1. Really good. You don't need to finish all these off. You kind of just want to play safe. Try to regroup for another touch. I mean, they're at 70% already, and that's the problem with Flashpoint. 2 fights and it's pretty much over. And Grave does get picked late. That is a huge pick by Nesquix.
no recontest value there pretty much unless Sane just runs crazy at the point. You don't even have really anything else to contest with, but Sane's got to run in there trying to find WK. They get knifed, they get rushed. Ty pops the blade to secure the kills, and you don't even get the overtime activated.
Yeah, you see, I'm not a huge fan of the Kitsune and the blade there. I mean, it does guarantee the point. However, you have nothing now for this next point off the bat. You should farm an OC, a queen, a beat, whatever it may be, but you gotta cycle them.
And now Sane's also over to the Zarya here, Detri. Maybe for the, I mean, just the raw damage, obviously, but maybe just to help peel this
Really
backline
good
a little
shout.
more.
Really good shout. People don't realize that shout saves the Genji. Oh, and Grave does find WK, but we do see
Nice
an OC coming out. Please don't queen ult.
The
No,
ramp!
We only need 1.
You pop the ramp, it finds 2 with just a bleed. As next, oh, they pop the clock. I see what you mean now.
Yeah, they used 2, and yeah, they got out pulls. However, I mean, yes, they guarantee the point control, but now they just have beat to work with. You do see a swap coming from Vesuvius tank, so they're not going to have tank ult, but they do have both support ults, which can just guarantee a fight win. Here's the orbit that we were just talking about. Only Sane walking with it.
I mean, it's all you really need if the Zarya is full enough charge, but it might be enough to get the flip as Yukiro still has this off angle for Vesuvius with the clock, but WK is going to pop the beat.
Really good beat. Really good
It's going to be the rally to
response.
counteract it, but it's going to be enough health and enough raw speed for comeback hits to get into the backline, be able to find two. But Monter and Sign are not done. Not Sign, as the grab is to find Ty, and this fight's still going. And comeback kids are just gaining more and more percent probably the second, as there's still a 3v1 here. And I don't think Sane can win this one, as the Czar is going to fall.
Yeah, Zarya
as
a little
that's
late.
pretty much sealed point.
Yeah, that's tough. I understand the need to grab, but I think you can kite out, walk back in with a little bit of your team being a little bit closer to point, grab with them, you know, get a little bit more value, maybe get a point flip. But that's 3 ults for just beat, you know. And now we see comeback kids coming up on their ults again, have Kitsune, you know, Vesuvius has OC and Pulse coming up, but that's about it. And comeback kids will have everything. So again, really good ult cycle by comeback kids.
Yeah. And now it's going to be an early clock coming in from Yukiro to try to stop this engage. WK running in, getting beamed down by Sane. Nesquix finds Grave. It's going to be trade after trade here. A 150 charge overclock will be hidden from. That's pretty understandable. I don't want to get one dinged.
Yeah, that's a great kite by comeback kids for the OC.
Ty
really doesn't make it too effective. Ty does get a little overzealous, but point control is in favor of comeback kids. IRL does find UV.
Yeah. And now it's going to be Yukiro finding Big Brain. And I think it's kind of IRL's time to shine as the Queen finds 4! And it's going to be a 5th. Oh no. The Queen, going to be a stagger.
A stagger, yeah.
Yukiro gets dashed.
Ty wants to kill. Don't even give the Queen the 5k, right?
And Detri. Look at this. We have, let's say, one more fight if you drag this out, and look how many ults has...
Yeah, no.
This
is brutal for Vesuvius. Very brutal.
This is gonna need to be like a 5-man pulse that doesn't get shouted.
Pulse is gonna have to get both supports. It's as simple as that. To win this,
WK gets stuck and runs into his team. Maybe. One can only hope if you're on the side of Vesuvius.
Really
has 80% counting.
Yukiro.
And now comes the blade, the rush, the pulse.
Oh,
Nesquix almost slides into his team, almost actually giving the side of Vesuvius what they wanted, but Ty, WK, the rest of the members of Comeback Kids are gonna be able to take the 3-0 on Saravasa with an emo for IRL.
A little bit of aura farming, but really good pulse from Grave. Really good blade from Ty.
And here's IRL.
You know, you do pulse the Sojourn who has OC. That's great, but the trade on the tank is just a better trade, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I think Comeback Kids really just played with their tempo and punished any overextensions there from the side of Vesuvius. And now it's going to match point Detri with Comeback Kids. I mean, looking pretty strong. And I mean, we're going to Escort. So if we look at the map pool, how do you slow down the compositions that Comeback Kids have been running? I mean, you've seen a lot of the brawl, right?
Yeah.
And like
I would assume something like Havana. Shambali is a little bit more brawl. Root
we saw Diva from
yeah. I'm thinking Havana because of the Diva, but also because you can flex as Zarya on Havana. Root, however, you need to play either Winston or Diva. You can't really play brawl too much unless you're hard stacking point. It would be a tough one. I would assume Havana will be chosen, but we'll see. Again, that comes to comfort pick, what they've practiced. So
yeah. And I mean, maybe something like Root is what you could do to force the side of Comeback Kids to a dive, but who knows, maybe they cook up something weird like a Zarya bunker comp or just grab the grenade jump perk and then just go up there. I don't know.
Sweet.
As it's going to be Route 66 Detri.
Wow, the one I didn't think they would choose. All right. We're definitely going to see a Diva then. Probably from both teams.
Maybe. With
I
the
mean, I
DPS
assume
being able to
so.
burst down the tank so easily in this match so far, I don't think Winston would have a fun time.
Yeah, I don't think Winston would be the play here,
There
especially
is
since we did see a Torb a little bit as well from Vesuvius. So I would think against the Winston from Comeback Kids, but maybe we'll see it for Vesuvius. But it did seem like Diva was their comfort pick.
I did see one funny thing though about the divas on King's Row from Sane. They picked the heavy missile perk. I don't know how to feel about it exactly because like most all the diva players I see pick the shields.
Yeah, you know, the shields is really good, but when you're trying to just kill the backline, which is what they've been trying to do, Sane, chose the right perk, I think. Missiles can fly into one of the squishy supports and just insta kill them. I think it's a good choice. I think, however, when you're playing longer distance maps like Escort, you should try to avoid that perk and try to go with the shields.
Yeah. And we're just gonna have to see how this one kind of plays out. And I mean, it depends. If Comeback Kids haven't made any swaps after putting Dewey and but the names not Nesquix. Who was the other DPS?
Ty
Yeah, no, yeah.
or
After
or
yeah, no, it was
IRL.
Ty. It was
IRL was
Ty.
also because Ty,
After
IRL,
Dewey
and
being
Nesquix.
taken out, IRL going to tank, and Ty filling in for IRL. We haven't seen any swaps from either team. So I
Yeah.
maybe on a
So
type like Escort, you can get like maybe a sneaky head scan player in there who can go Ash and just run the lobby.
right, and we did see Ash too from Vesuvius, so it's
Yeah,
possible.
and it's
Do we have any swaps, Mister God
producer person.
producer person?
Mr. God. Well,
Producer. Hi, God.
Voice
I
from
am the
above.
all-seeing. There is no swaps now.
Oh
No
dang.
swaps. So yeah, I guess I do see the theory behind that, Dusty. I think that could have been pretty beneficial considering we did see IRL who was on Tracer Genji, I believe, and Nesquix was still the hit scan. However, it did allow for a little bit of more pressure from the hit scan as every flex DPS has a little bit of a different play style,
Yeah.
If you play more aggressive, it allows for your hit scan to get a little bit more value. If you play a little bit safer, it allows them to walk up a little bit more into your hit scan. So, but we do see Vesuvius on the defense first.
I'm seeing things, right? From
I
inside
hope
Comeback
so.
Kids. God, I hope so.
I hope so. I mean,
Let's just
I guess,
ignore him for now.
I guess Zen is like decent if you have a Kiri, but like not great on this map. You're gonna get hard poked.
Yeah. Let's ignore for now. And I mean, from Vesuvius, it's a standard. It's basically just a Winston comp, but you just put Sane in on Diva. So it's a solid backline. It's a solid DPS lineup. You have Yukiro on poke. You have Grave on the off angles, and I mean that should be fine. Comeback Kids, IRL. Are you going to swap? IRL? Oh my God.
Okay.
Detri.
Okay.
Orisa in 2025 on
Interesting.
Root.
Playing for bunker here on point, I guess.
I guess I suggested as a possibility before. I didn't think they were gonna do it like this. I thought like a Reinhardt.
Yeah, no, I mean the spear chart, the charged spear is definitely strong. But I
And
don't think
shields
it's
is
going to do
also
much
good
into
for
Diva.
bunker.
Yeah, I think
Mike?
that both are going to be possible perks that we see. I also wouldn't doubt we see a swap. Pretty soon.
Yeah, and I mean it's gonna be Sane being
Diva
able to
is
find Ty,
overextended, yeah.
but too many angles to DM.
You really
and that's
want to
going
chase
to
that
be-
kill, and you just get punished for it.
Maybe
Might be
you
able to play
outlit.
ring around the
IRL
Rosie
is a
here.
nice spin though, and Sane is not Sane. Oh my God, Sane is still alive. As
And
by
does
the way,
have mech.
Ty's on the far. That's, I think, a really interesting pick here for the side of Comeback Kids. It's going to be a nice nade from UV,
Really
hitting
good nade.
IRL and Sane to be able to poke them out. Yukiro falling low. The Pharah getting marked very well by Sane on the Diva as they have to disengage, but Grave is getting close to a pulse bomb here as nothing really else besides a barrage and potential bomb for the side of either team as UV finds Ty! The Ana getting a kill to start off this map.
Yeah, you know,
As
I will say, Ty is dying, right? But getting a lot of value on the Pharah.
Oh,
Doing
pushing
a
the
lot
bomb.
of damage.
Forgot about the good old pushing the bomb strat. As it's going to be a minute and a half burned as Grave gets a little too close to
Yeah.
Nezquix there, as a railgun to the face is what they're met with.
You know, that's
So-
really great.
Oh,
Now they have
Yukiro?
angles to work with.
Yukuro's gone. Could be a nano onto Sane, trying to find something here to stall this out. You have 2 minutes. You have a coming back with a pulse bomb and maybe a rally. But now you have to worry about almost all the ults from comeback kids coming in, and Sane is still trying to fight this one. Barrage from Ty finds both of the supports.
Yep.
Raining missiles from the
Really
sky.
well done.
And that's going to be the rest of comeback kids collapsing on the point, getting rid of Sane. And 4 minutes and 20 seconds is what's going to be left for the side of Ty and the comeback kids, as Yukiro is able to get the pick and not die. I lied.
You did lie. You jinxed it. You cast.
I jinxed it. Cast a curse. I did it.
don't know. Why would you do that?
Wait, do we?
But we do see a constant trend of Sane chasing Ty around the map, and you know that
Yeah.
kind of just lets the rest of comeback kids get free pressure on the rest of their team, force their Soj Yukiro out of the position they want to be in. So a little tough. You got to play a little bit safer. But Ty
Hell,
does
get the
fall to
trade.
UV. A big trade
IRL
here.
finds Grave. The trace for the far, I think it's pretty even as you still have both Sojas on the field. But IRL, was that a
this-
snipe onto UV? The Orisa's on the high ground. It's a
Yeah.
solo Terra.
The
And-
speed. Oh,
Monter?
rally.
Not. I don't know how to feel about that one. I'm not gonna lie with you, Detri.
Yeah, I assume they're doing to live, but at that point you just want to die and get a retouch with your ults. Now they have nothing to work with besides OC.
And now it's back to BAP for UV. You have a clock for Yukiro, but you have to get a nice off angle. But you're still walking into beat rush as you have 3 minutes. 4 comeback kids trying to get the cap. Yukiro's on the off angle. Checks the disruptor shot and it pops the clock. Has anyone got a touch?
Am I mistaken, or did UV and Monter swap roles? Like Monter,
I think you're
was it
right.
Monter on Brig? Am I going crazy?
I think Monter was on
Yes.
Brig and
Okay,
UV was
yeah.
yeah.
So they have no perks right now.
And that's
Resets
you have
both
4
ult
minutes.
charges.
You have 4 minutes here. You only use the beat, and no one touched for the side of Vesuvius as Yukiro goes over to the Gash. And Detra, I think the momentum's really starting to swing here as comeback kids are just putting on the pressure. And I mean,
I'm not exactly sure what to expect here for what ults comeback kids wants to use first. I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a flank barrage
Right?
coming in. Maybe not, because they do have a DMAC.
it's gonna be a
Oh.
barrage. It gets brought up with
There
a
is a-
coach gun.
Yeah, point blank, 1 HP barrage. You're gonna get coached.
And now Grave has a pulse bomb. You're getting close to both support ults, but Monter's getting sniped out by IRL. And Diana's getting the Matrix. Not gonna be enough. Terror
Oh,
Surge comes
big
in,
Terror
pulls
Surge.
3. UV can't get out, at least not fast enough. And it's going to be Grave, the last one standing. The Tracer cannot beat the side of
that's a
comeback kids, and
tough
that's
time.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
We do see Sane try to come out on Orisa to try to bunker down for a little bit on point, but it's just a little bit of a slow touch. But we did see, by the way,
Oh boy.
IRL choose the spear perk
Yeah.
instead of the shield. So I guess they're
Maybe
not
just to
trying
bully
to
the Tracer?
bunker. Yeah, probably trying to just one-shot the Tracer, trying to maybe just force the supports out of a position that they're in with a alley-oop spear.
Also, one off-topic thing. Dewey's not even signed for tank for comeback kids. He's signed as a support.
You know, if you gotta flex, you gotta flex. If your tank's a little late, your tank's a little late.
I guess so. And then
depending on the rank, of course. If the rank is lower, then we might have,
Yeah.
we might have to check that.
maybe, and now it's gonna be in. I'm not gonna talk about the offensive side team yet because people love to switch up on me doing troll picks. As we're gonna see comeback kids basically not switch at all here.
Yeah.
Same roster.
But you see, this is gonna be tough for This is gonna be tough for Vesuvius because now they want to try to play the Winston, but if they're playing the Orisa, I don't know if that's the play, especially with the Pharah. You know, Diva could
And
have
the
marked the Pharah as
UV's
well
on the
as
Zen.
done a little bit more into the Orisa.
He's actually locking the Zen.
No,
UV,
no way.
Zen, Winston. I mean, if you put the Discord onto at least IRL, it forces the Orisa to take a safer angle. Like right there, he forces the spin out at least, and maybe you can find Ty with it from the help of Yukaro, but I'm kind of confused on the game plan.
Yeah, you know, I feel like this comp is very
Intuitive?
yeah, counterintuitive. Like, very want to play
Nesquik
one
finds
way,
3,
but then
except
the
4.
other people want to play another way. Yeah, Nesquik's getting a lot of value. You got to play Soj. You won't be able to play Ashe here. I know they have a Pharah. You got to play Diva. You got to play Soj, and you got to swap off the Zen.
Oh. Sane goes over to the Zarya. If you can take height, if you can get up on height and get full charge, sure, but Monter's gonna have his work cut out for him here, being able to basically have to pocket the side of Sane as Ty is able to find Yukaro with UV not being able to see him on the angle, and what a rocket! A nice flick,
really
and the
great
Pharah
play.
is almost just didn't get looked at there for a second, as Ty's still not gonna fall. You get a little extra carp meter there, but not much coming from the side of Vesuvius, as comeback kids have a nice hold with IRL walking into the spawn doors here.
Yeah, you know, like I was saying, Soj is just really good into Orisa. Constant farm of charge a rail shot, as well as just, you know, constant damage. Where Ashe is too little damage over too little time.
Yeah, and you have a barrage now on the side of Vesuvius, and
I'm gonna
Alari!
expect a Terra Surge and Barrage combo, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
never
just a
mind.
solo ult on a
Or
Sane.
just-
That
or
works.
Just try to guarantee the fight win.
I mean, it's still both ults,
Yeah,
just
still
not how
both
you
ults.
expected
Yeah,
it.
right.
You're technically right. My question is, what was Sane doing over there? By themselves?
Yeah, they're definitely struggling to walk out of spawn here. Getting a little split on where they want to play, how they want to play it. On the Alari for a little bit more damage on the Pharah.
And I mean, it's gonna be Sane getting
now
a
Sane's
rush
just
dropped
gonna-
on him.
Yeah, Sane's just gonna get blown up there. Is caught below
Pulse goes wide. Minute 30 now, and the supports, I think, for Vesuvius are having a rough time. You've seen like 4 swaps, and also Monter on the Alari. Is it for the? I'm assuming it's for the Pharah, but I don't know how much healing you're gonna be able to do after this. I don't know, but nonetheless, you have a Bob coming up and a grab for the side of Vesuvius. You have a clock and B coming in for the side of Comeback Kids. You have a minute to go on first point. Vesuvius trying to stave off a 3-1 loss as Bob comes in from Yukaro, and he's
not
gone.
quite.
Wait, no, he's barely there.
Almost. One more missile. Oh,
It's
Sane
not
is
gonna
down.
happen.
But Big Brain and Nesquik.
It's going to be a 4v3.
Oh, no,
The-
IRL gets picked. They have
Big Brain-
a lot of pressure here on Cart.
Yeah.
They can
Big
hold
Brain
this down.
fell. IRL even on Orisa with just Lucio heals. It's not going to be enough. As Sane goes over to the Diva, which I was expecting from the get-go.
Yeah, you want to keep 3 on point here. You want to try to get as far as possible. Try to not allow an engage, but however, they're going to get one. They're gonna have beat.
Barrage,
they're gonna
Terra
have
beat.
barrage, and this is gonna be the last fight coming up. So we'll see how this plays
Unless you force out Zuzu and hit the best son of your life. It's going to be a quick engage though onto UV. And Diana's going to fall over. Ty gets 2 with the barrage.
out. Oh no.
Oh no, not yet. Monter has a son. A hero play in the making. Ty falls down, but Sane can't get the touch.
Yeah.
And Comeback Kids, I really wouldn't say it's a comeback. I mean, you lose map 1, but you finish the series 3-1. A very interesting comp. And you have the Orisa and Nesquik here with the play, being able to pull out the victory. And a pretty dominant performance after King's Row, Detri.
Yeah, really, really well done. By both teams. I'd say I'd say that Root was a little bit more tough on Vesuvius, but I think that's just, you know, need to work on the comps that they want to play and how they want to play it. They're getting a little split on what they want to do as a team, and you know, they're just getting split on rotations in general. But I think
And-
Comeback Kids played great with their ult rotations and everything overall.
Yeah, and I mean, it was great performance for both teams, but who had the greatest is the question, as we have to dish out MVP here for the side of Comeback Kids. And honestly, I'm having a little bit of a tough time. I kind of,
I'm having a tough time too. I will
maybe
say though,
Netflix?
I think Nesquix would be the one. Played every map.
Great game in the
Played
Soj.
great. Yeah, great Soj. But it's tough to choose because Ty also constantly had big barrages
Oh,
every fight.
yeah,
um, a lot of direct shots, a lot of pressure from the tracer. Just did a
yeah.
lot, and I would say the positioning from the Soj was really well done as well. So I'm gonna give it up to you. You make the decision.
I mean,
I'm fine with both answers.
there's also a third option which I could sneak in here. I mean, IRL played DPS for the first map and then went tank for the rest of the series.
That is true. That is true. However, we did see them on Orisa.
You know what? I don't like Orisa. You're right.
Exactly.
I think, hmm, uh, I think overall with complete series value, I'd have to give it to Nesquix, but Ty is just slightly behind. I think it's
Yeah.
just having that
I
first.
think that's just because that first map, right?
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Ty just wasn't here for that first map, and Nesquix was, and just every map was being an actual threat on the Soj. So
yeah. And
really
with
well done.
that, it's gonna be Nesquix getting your MVP for Comeback Kids with their 3-1 victory over SSG Vesuvius. And that means that's our final game of the weekend, Detri, going into week 3. And teams are finally starting to solidify themselves as contenders in their divs. And I mean, that's pretty much gonna be it for now.
If we want,
Awesome.
I do have finally the definition for Phantasma
I need that.
Dryasm. We can
Is that what it is? It dry? Is that an R or an A?
Yeah, it is.
Dryasm,
Okay.
DRYAZM.
That's what I thought.
Dryads is like forest.
Yep. So the answer that we've gotten from the team owner, which I mean makes most sense. You ask the team owner, they'd probably know the team name meaning. It apparently is a mix of dryads and ghosts.
So ghost dryads.
Dryasm being the dryads, and phantasma or phantasma being, like phantoms.
That makes
and
sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the ghost dryads.
I don't know what dryads are, but okay.
It's like a forest creature, mythical.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, and like a nymph, like maybe like a fairy. I don't know if it's a fairy. And I don't remember exactly. My mythology's kind of bad.
I don't
But
know.
with that out of the way, we have 3-3-1s this week, guys. Not 3 Overwatch. And with
I mean,
that,
to be fair as well, sorry to cut you off, Dusty.
Ah!
The only match that's showing as a 3-0
Is it
is
5?
a match that was canceled.
was it fourth? It was a forfeit. You're right.
It was technically a forfeit. They are going to be rescheduling that match and actually playing it again.
Oh, okay.
So,
both teams agreed to that?
yeah, both teams agreed.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
So, ironically enough, there's a possibility that that match also ends in a 3-1.
That would be crazy.
That would be wild.
But with that out of the way, Caustic and Detri, I think for our third week of Nebula, I think that's going to be all. A pretty nice weekend of games. Week 4 is going to be coming up next on next weekend, Friday, 8 EST. Be there because we got more Overwatch on the way. And with that, to end the night, I am Dusty. That is Detri. And our producer Caustic is over there. I would like to bid you all a good night.